Pardon me for asking, but
What day is it?
Do you really not know?
I really don't.
Here's a hint.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me you killed him. No, I am your father.
Say what?
May 4th.
It's May the 4th. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you.
Enjoy Star Wars Day.
Happy Star Wars Day!
It's showtime.
Star Wars Day, Tom. Woo!
So she says on there, showtime. Really? Really? That's what we got to deal with today. Yeah, it is May the 4th, which, you know, Star Wars came out, what, 77?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, first one, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I saw it at a drive-in in Jacksonville, Florida, so it had to be 77, 78. I know that. But I was very impressed with the first one. Do you remember seeing the very first one? Shannon, oh, by the way, Shannon's with us because Brittany's in the penalty box today. Because on the show yesterday, we were talking about something, and she said, I don't want to listen to this. I'm like, you just told the people listening to the show not to listen.
Oh, no.
You realize that?
The
what she just
cardinal
did?
rule, you're not supposed to say that.
So let's pretend she's in the penalty box. What is she actually doing, getting like her brain scan or something?
Yeah, she has a CAT scan today. Yeah, she has a crayon stuck up there, much like Homer Simpson.
I would not doubt that, by the way. I adore that. I do. I can tell you openly, it's true, because he's a great friend of the family. I adore Brittany, but my God. Someday, Shannon.
They're studying her brain for science.
They should, absolutely. They should get that done. You want to go through? See, I saw the first Star Wars, and I think maybe I saw one other one, but I've never seen any of the others. So have you guys seen a lot of the Star Wars stuff?
I've seen all of them, but I've retained no information.
Okay.
There's very little Star Wars that I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's a lot of people are like that.
Love it, man. I love everything about it because all the movies, I remember growing up on them, and then, you know, that kind of mid-'90s when they put out chapters 1, 2, and 3, or episodes 1, 2, and 3. That was kind of garbage, but then they had the resurgence with those films that came out last year, and then I just went to Galaxy's Edge at Disney a couple weeks ago. It was the only time I've pouted. Because my sister was like, it's time to go. And I was like, I don't want to go yet. Yeah.
Hey. Now you're talking. So you're a huge Star Wars fan.
Love it.
One of the reasons I might not be, Shannon, to tell you the truth, that when it came out, they decided because I could do a semi-good, it wasn't even good, a semi-impression of James Earl Jones. Every car dealer I came near, it's time for Car Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Car Wars, Bar Wars. Well, there were
I
more
like that.
of them. Yeah, I bet you do like that. Car Wars. Yeah, you had to rush everybody down there because the Car Wars were going on, the Bar Wars. There were some other ones. What the hell would they have been? Par Wars with my friends, but I never par anything, so that can't work.
Sure.
That's not gonna. Are you a golfer?
Yeah, golfed twice already this week.
Oh, this week you did? No, where did you play?
I played Montgomery National down.
Oh, I love that course.
Great course.
It is.
So much fun.
Yep.
And then played once a week. I play with my brother-in-law at Highland over in Bloomington.
Love that one too.
Yeah, because it's quick, it's easy, it's 9 holes. If you go early enough, there's not a lot of people. Like we cranked out 9 holes yesterday in about an hour 10 minutes.
That's phenomenal. See, that's great. That's wonderful.
And then golfing in Grand Rapids on Friday when I get up to the cabin.
There you go.
Yeah.
I tried to. I learned something yesterday, Shannon.
Okay.
That I've played about 5 rounds of golf in the last 6 years. So I thought I'd just walk on the course and everything would be fine. Mm-hmm. Tommy's got a long road back. Let me just put it that way. Oh my God, did I suck! I literally only played about 4 holes, and I said, I can't do this to you people. I got to go see Al's over at Golden Valley. Al Strang's his name, great teacher. Said, I better call Al and get things on the books because this ain't going to work. I mean, it was horrible.
Well, I'd run into a guy that golfed with you. I forget his name. I'll have to look him up. But he golfed with you. He said he golfed with you out in Phoenix one time. He's a golf instructor. And I said, it'd be funny to get you on for a segment called This Is Why You Suck at Golf.
Right.
And then have him explain to everybody who listens why it is that they are terrible at a game they love.
I would love that. Can we get that done?
Yeah, I'll try to contact that guy. I can't remember his name, but I know I can find him, yeah.
Great idea. Absolutely good. Why you and I, because I'll put myself in that position.
Yeah.
Why you and I suck at golf. And by the way, my wife, who plays golf like once in a while, has the most beautiful natural swing I've ever seen. It's just not fair. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know much about golf. I just drive the golf cart and drink.
What do you drink?
Like probably tequila.
Really?
Yeah.
So you go the whole distance.
Just casual.
Are you going to go to? I think there's a tequila night in town at a bar. Where the hell is it? I saw they had a big sign that said tequila night. I think it's tomorrow night. So
Oh,
Sure.
I better have them
Look it
reach
up.
out to you, right?
All right. Tell him to let me know.
I will tell you something. I'm not kidding you, and this is true. I can drink beer, and it really doesn't even affect me. I don't get drunk drinking beer. No matter how much I drink, I just don't get drunk. It's weird. Then I drink wine, and I feel really pretty good, but I can get really hammered on that.
Yeah.
Whiskey, I can get an edge to me. I drink tequila. What the hell are you looking at? It
That's
makes me
fighting words.
Shannon, it makes me crazy. What is that?
I don't know. A lot of people say that actually about tequila.
Really?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not kidding you. It's not just I get crazy. It's just bizarre. But a good example. A friend of mine opened up a Mexican restaurant downtown. He said, "Tom, I'd love you to come down and help us with the opening." And all this. I said, "Love to. Great. You're a great friend. I love your food. All the rest of it." I get there. He brings out 100-year-old bottle of tequila. It's 100 years old. He goes, "Tom, I know you don't like drinking tequila. I don't even want to try a Spanish accent. It was a huge mistake." But anyway, I would like you to try this. He got tequila, really? Well, just give me a little bit. He goes, "I'll just give you a little. I'll just give you a little bit." He gave me about 4 ounces. Okay, so it's not
more
just
than
a
a
little
little.
bit. That's more than a little. So I sat there sipping it, and I finished it. And he comes over and he goes, "Tom," what? I said, "It was delicious. I got to be honest with you. There's no doubt it was absolutely delicious." He said, "Do you want some more?" And I said, "No, I really don't." And he goes, "Why not?" And I said, "Because I'm really pissed off and I don't know why." I just got angry all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like instant asshole. Just add tequila.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What is that? What is it? The mezcal in the outfit? What is it?
I don't know, because everybody's got their one. That one thing that turns them into it. Some guys it's tequila, some guys it's whiskey. Friends of mine, it was vodka. Anytime you gave them vodka, they'd have fiery eyes like Scott Studwell.
Well, that's a good thing. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I'm glad you brought him because I was thinking about I got to get Scott on the show. We should have him come in. Great guy.
I know he's alive, but is he around Minnesota? I haven't talked to him. I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, I just had dinner with him last year.
Really?
A bunch of us got together and had dinner and just had a great time. But he spends a lot of time in Wisconsin too.
Oh, good.
So yeah, he hangs around this area. You would, for one of the toughest men I have ever seen. He is such a nice man. It's unbelievable. Although the first time I met him, he was a little angry with me about some of my comments about his Vikings. So it wasn't that great a meeting the first time.
Sure.
But great guy. Yeah, I will reach out to. We got some really interesting people popping up, and I'm not going to bring up any names, but you brought up one this morning. I thought, get some people rolling. I mean, not that our guests so far haven't been fantastic. They have, but it's just nice to see that all these people are stepping up, going, "Hey, let's get that done," right? Although I wasn't here when Frank Vassalero brought both his dogs into studio. What do you think of that, Shannon?
Did they get a spot on air?
Oh,
They did. They did. Yes, they did.
I thought that was the case, but I wasn't sure. All right, we're going to get to some Star Wars facts, because I don't know if I know these or not. So now, Shannon, are you a Star Wars fan?
Yeah,
Kinda.
I am.
You've seen them all, but
Yeah.
you didn't retain it.
Yeah, I'm watching
are.
The Mandalorian right now. I really like it.
That's a good. What's
It's a
that
good
on?
show. It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, it is. Okay. Disney
Yeah.
Plus is blowing up, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're really doing well, no question. All right, I want to look at this for just a second. The weather, mostly sunny and warm today with a high of 75 now. Not only here I am wearing a jacket. Really good, Tom. Tom and Shannon wearing a jacket, when it's going to be 75. Mostly sunny, warm, 75 for the high. Friday, partial sunshine with an isolated shower. Who cares? High at near 70. Saturday, partly sunny with scattered showers possible. High at 70 again, or near 70. On Sunday, partly sunny with scattered showers and 72, 72, 73, 71. I mean, over the next 7 days, it's going to be the lowest temperature. It's going to be like 69. So it's getting better by the minute. Sure was nice. It's sunny right now. Beautiful. It's 52 degrees already. Matter of fact, let me check, make sure. Yeah, it's still 52. So that's cool. All right, top 5 Star Wars facts that will blow your mind. Now, I read that. I'm not making that statement. I read it. So I'm going to ask you guys, oh, Jesus. I just saw the first one. Why me? Why me? Okay, top 5 Star Wars facts that will blow your mind in honor of May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, ladies and gentlemen. Also known as Star Wars Day. Enjoy today's list of the top 5 Star Wars facts that will blow your mind. The number 1 fact, I don't know if this will blow your mind or not, C-3PO is straight. What?
I didn't know that we put sexual orientation on the robots these days, but okay.
Little machinery.
Yeah.
No, he seems gay for real.
Oh, does he?
Kind of.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
he's got like a British accent too. You know the way he walks? He just kind of seems it.
Doesn't he kind of like roll along on wheels?
No, that's R2D2.
R2D2.
Oh, that's R2D2.
Yeah.
C-3PO is like the gold one.
Oh, the
He's
big,
like
the,
all golden.
the figure,
Yeah.
the actual
Yeah.
human body figure.
Yeah.
Master Skywalker.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. R2D2 is the beard of that relationship.
For sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Now, yeah, because I remember the gold guy. I do remember him. That's which one is that again? C-3PO?
Yeah.
Okay. The original voice of Darth Vader was Okay, see, I didn't know this was all going to be a joke. I thought it was a serious deal about Star Wars. The original voice of Darth Vader was Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no. These are garbage.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's time to move on. I thought it was a real thing because I don't pre-read stuff. I thought it was a real thing, but no, here's another great joke about Star Wars for you.
Although, interesting fact about Darth Vader, that the guy, when they filmed it, it's not James Earl Jones in the suit.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's another kind of spindly white dude, and then they had him. It's funny because they actually have online. I wonder if I could find it. They have online footage of that guy speaking the Darth Vader lines, and then James Earl Jones goes in post-production and drops those lines in.
Right.
It's very funny to watch.
Indeed, I will tell you what. I remember we had James Earl Jones on the show one time. And you want to talk about he's first of all, a very big guy. He's not a small guy at all. But he's got that voice that comes out of there and all. One of the nicest, gentlest, kindest men you'd ever want to know. He's just a very, very nice guy, even though he's very intimidating, I guess, physically. And that voice doesn't hurt being intimidating either. But just because, he didn't talk for like 5 years. I think that was maybe I should look that up before I say it's 5 years. But as a child, he stopped talking and didn't talk for a few years.
Wow.
And then when he did talk again, it came out like this.
Yeah, I feel like I remember hearing that somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how long it was, but yeah, he didn't talk for quite some time. And then when he was 11, he started talking like this. Or however old he was, I don't know. But it's just nice to see somebody that successful, that talented, to be such a wonderfully nice man. Isn't that wonderful? You see that happening.
Yeah, you expect people to go the other way sometimes.
Well, because most people are raging pricks, that's why.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I was trying to be nice about it, but
That ain't happening with Uncle Tom in the room. I suppose you're right. No question. I'll look that up in a bit, see how many years it was or how long it was he just did not talk. And I don't know if they ever figure out why he didn't stop talking. I guess he had a stutter when he was a little boy. Do you remember that part, Rudy? He had a little bit of a stutter. Oh, he's not listening. I think he's listening to audio right now. Not a big deal. So I thought the top 5 Star Wars facts would be but they're all lame-ass jokes. Why do they do that to me?
If you guys want, I did find a little bit of the original Star Wars Darth Vader actor and him giving the lines before they dropped in James Earl Jones. Here, you can give it a listen.
Start tearing this ship apart piece by piece until you find those tapes. Find the passengers of this vessel. I want them alive.
It's wildly different than James Earl Jones, isn't it?
not the same.
You know what's funny about that? That sounds like a character being done by Martin Short.
I was going to say, if you go back and watch Spaceballs with Rick Moranis, that sounds exactly like Rick Moranis. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. It does. I'll come in there and whoop your ass. Oh, will you? Okay. Well, good for you. I'm happy for you. No question. So in any case, this might be a nice little transition just because it could, unless it's another attempt at telling jokes. That's the one thing about the services now. Please stop attempting humor. Just why do you do that? I don't get it. Hastings, Nebraska just installed a 6-foot statue of the Kool-Aid Man. A guy from Hastings named Edwin Perkins came up with Kool-Aid in 1927 after messing around in his mom's kitchen. If you happen to be swinging through southeast Nebraska anytime soon, it's outside the Hastings Museum of Natural and Cultural History. These are the top 10 brands that remind us of our childhood. Now, this is going to be wildly different because, Shannon, how old are you?
33.
Yeah, so 33. You're, what, 42, you said?
42.
Yeah, 42. And I'm a little older than that.
You don't have the same childhood.
No, we don't. And that's going to be interesting what our childhood memories might be together. Okay, I do remember Hasbro. Was that part of your life?
Yeah, G.I. Joe was
yeah.
Hasbro.
Oh,
yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Shannon, you too.
Oh, yeah.
How about Nerf?
Yes.
Yep.
See, not me.
No, you guys played with rocks.
Rocks, yeah, throwing rocks at people. Now, this one, when I was a kid, was the big one, man. Mattel.
That's still around.
Is it?
Yep.
What do they do now? Do you know?
They make games.
Barbie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Barbie's Mattel. Yeah. See, you guys know all this stuff. This is very, very impressive. How about Kool-Aid?
I do remember Kool-Aid.
I just still love the fact that they had the giant pitcher chasing people. That's a good idea. Okay, this is these are just top brands of childhood. Yeah, Disney, absolutely. We still talk about Disney. I don't care if you're 33 or 71. You're talking about Disney if you've ever been there.
Oh, yeah.
Game that I just finally got sick of playing because I did pretty well at it, and people always thought I was cheating somehow. But it's just this, using money wisely in Monopoly is how you win the game, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think most people know that.
We played on Sunday with the family.
Oh, did you?
I made stacks. Oh, I destroyed my family. Wiped them all out, Succession style. It was amazing.
You sound very happy. So that's good.
That's what games are about, destroying your family.
Destroy my family. Got Hot Wheels. I was beyond Hot. Okay, I'm going to come back to Hot Wheels because I have a Hot Wheels memory. How about you guys? You have Hot Wheels?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you liked Hot Wheels?
Yeah, we used to have the track where you put them in and it zooms it around.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
The only connection I ever had with Hot Wheels, we had a dog. It was an Irish setter, just a beautiful, beautiful dog named Clayton. This is back when I first saw this is decades ago. And Clayton came home and he was laying down and he wouldn't get up and he just wouldn't move or he didn't want to move and just get away from me, leave me alone. Finally, Catherine got home. He said, something's wrong with Clayton. I don't know what it is. She goes, what do you mean? She went over and he was acting weird. He had about a half a Hot Wheel sticking out of his butt.
Ooh.
He had somehow
Yeah. When that
eaten a hot
Yep.
like the back tires were sticking out. It was really
Poor Clayton.
And them Duke boys are up to no good again.
yeah, exactly, going right up Clayton's butt. He must have eaten one of them, and it just wouldn't pass. So that was fun getting out the pliers for that one. That was a thrill. Play-Doh. We had a little Play-Doh in our lives when we were kids.
Yeah.
Lego, no, that wasn't around yet. I played with Legos before, and I've also stepped on them on the stairs coming down after having children with Legos. You ever stepped on a Lego with bare feet?
Yeah, it's not fun.
Oh, my God, that hurts.
Yeah. I'd rather just take a knife to the foot.
I agree.
Yeah, it's less painful.
No, you're right. And finally, Nintendo. Nintendo broke when in the mid-'80s?
85.
85, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, I used to play the World Series, I think it was called. I used to love playing the World Series on Nintendo back in the day. So you do agree with most of these that they've been part of all of our lives, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is weird because I do a bit on stage about Nintendo, and you have to really read the room for that joke to work because sometimes, especially in the city, like last night I was at a show in Uptown, and if I were to drop that joke, these kids would be like, dude, our first gaming system was like a PlayStation 5. Like, we have no idea what you're talking about.
It's true.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, start does mean nothing. It means nothing to us.
No, it's true. It's just one generation is completely different.
Yeah.
We shall take a break here. Be right back. More news right after this. This is Tom. We have a new sponsor to the show. It's a family business, which, as I've told you, is my favorite kind of business. The owner lives here. His name is Tom Dean. I'm talking about two great businesses that are serving their customers as one, Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Whatever power sport or marine product you're looking for, it all starts at the Lodge. Power Lodge. Receive the incredible shopping experience you're looking for. It just so happens that both these stores are kicking off the warm outdoor season. Yeah, baby, like 72 today, you mean? With a sale this week, save money and win stuff during the Power Sale through Saturday, May 6th with Power Lodge and Miller Marine. They're in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, and Miller Marine, of course, is in St. Cloud. Save on all pontoons with entry-level brands starting at $19,990, and that includes pontoon, motor, and trailer. Wow, that's a hell of a deal. I got to get another pontoon, Shannon. We've been talking about it. You got to get a pontoon, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to hear a lot about Power Lodge and Miller Marine from me in the coming months, but during this week's Power Sale, go to any location to get some throttle therapy. I said throttle therapy again. I always do that. On land and water, millermarine.com and powerlodge.com. You can tell them Tommy sent you.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. If you've been hurt in a car collision, it's traumatic enough. You don't need to waste time and energy on the legal stuff. Think of us as a partner who will guide you through the process. First off, you need to recover, but part of that is getting the compensation you deserve. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we'll work hard so you can get the rest you need during the trying months after a personal injury. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we understand how important it is to make our clients comfortable, so we build each client relationship on the pillars of honesty and transparency. Don't miss out on what's rightfully yours. We'll go to bat for you. For your free case consultation, please visit minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. I'm Mike Bryan, and I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to Bradshaw & Bryant.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Tom here. For years, you've heard me talk about my friends at North American Banking Company. They have great online and mobile banking options, plus friendly employees who are always ready to help. And with their location in Maple Grove now open, it's even more convenient for me and my family. Go visit my friends at any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations or go online to nabankco.com to learn more. Why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Hey everyone, Judd Zulgad here from Skor North, and wouldn't it be nice to lose over 20 pounds before summer? Well, you can with Livia's doctor-recommended program. Look and feel your best with a weight loss program voted #1 in Minnesota. Receive personalized and guided support from Livia's team of experts. You know what? Join today and receive 3 months free. What are you waiting for? Get summer ready with Livia. Call 855-GO-LIVIA or visit livia.com. I lost 40 pounds a year plus back with this program. I'm going to tell you right now, this program works because it's about weight control. It's not about a diet. It's not about a fad. It is about losing the weight and then most importantly, keeping the weight off. Livia's dietitians and nutritionists are going to help you do exactly that. So start your success today and get summer ready. Call 855-GO-LIVIA or visit livia.com. That's LIVEA.com. Join now and receive 3 months free. Call now, 855-GO-LIVIA or visit livia.com. Livia, consistently voted Minnesota's best weight loss program year after year. Come to Livia and experience life-changing results.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Shannon in for Brittany today. Brittany, of course, was suspended from the show for a day for being over 5'6".
That's fair.
I see that to my wife. I do it to her. I could not believe. I was talking to someone last night, and I don't know if they want me to reveal this or not, but they have a niece who's a really good volleyball player. She's 6'4" and is not tall enough to be on the blocker line.
Yeah.
6'4".
Oh, no.
I'm like, yeah, 6'7" apparently. In order to be a blocker, you have to be 6'7" now in college women's volleyball.
Sure.
That's cutthroat.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, the only person who knows the plight for how hard it is to be a tall woman is an extremely short guy.
Oh, is that right?
Both are mocked without any sort of repercussions. You can make fun of a tall woman, you can make fun of a short guy, and people don't have, like overly tall. I'm not talking about, almost like comically tall. Because, it's tough. Like there was a girl, Jennifer Vondahar, I went to high school with, and she was like a 6'3", 6'4".
That's amazing.
And towered over everybody. And, man, like everybody would always have a joke, which she kind of just took with a grain of salt. But, it helps you later in life. But when you're 14 and awkward and you are a foot and a half taller than everybody, that's got to be so weird.
It's hard blending in.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's probably true. It all works out in the end. We had Kathy. Kathy Shemp was her name in grade school. And that happens to girls a lot in grade school. They get taller than the boys.
Oh, yeah.
It does happen. There's no question. And Kathy, she was the tallest person in class, 7th grade, I guess it would be. 6th or 7th grade, can't remember. I think it was 7th grade. Yeah, she was taller than everybody. It just the way it worked out. Very nice person, by the way. Very pleasant schoolmate. That's all I have to say. What do you think of that? So they raised the rate yesterday, and I see the Dow Jones dropped. It's dropped 0.32%. So far not. What do you guys think? You think we'll just collapse and everybody just live under a bed? What do you think?
I don't know anything about the stock market.
Good, because I don't either.
I don't pay attention to it.
I got no idea. Is it just hedge fund heaven now? And I don't know that it is. I'm just asking.
To be honest, I don't even know what a hedge fund really does, except for I just know they make bank. That's it.
They can destroy radio stations.
Absolutely.
They're really good at that.
They're very good at that. You are correct. Yep.
Terrific, as a matter of fact. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I keep an eye on that kind of thing. This can't be a good story, and I haven't even read the headline yet, but I'm putting my glasses on now. Bill Gates, Leon Black, Thomas Pritzker, one day in the life of Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, boy.
How'd you like to be hooked to that prick? That'd be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? Wow, but no, look, I know that Jeffrey Epstein, what was he worth? A couple $100 million, $500 million, something like that? Whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But why would a guy like Bill Gates hang out with Jeffrey Epstein?
Wasn't there a thing with Bill Gates and his wife when they were getting,
Oh.
they were being divorced, and she was like, "Hey, listen, you give me what I want, because if not, I'm gonna end up dropping spilling the beans on your little Jeffrey Epstein getaways." Because there was something, I feel like there was a little smoke there where somebody had dropped a dime on him and said he had spent a little too much time there while he was married. So there might have been something going on, yeah.
So was it always about sex with Epstein? Always? The people, his friends, would come knowing that it was about sex?
Yeah, which is so weird that people always go, you know, it's more about power. I'm like, I don't know. I think a guy just wants to have sex. That's kind of, guys are wired like that.
Probably true.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon, do you have to put up with it nonstop with these guys these days? Just won't leave you alone on the street. Is that the plan?
Not really, but I'm kind of mean, so.
Oh, you mean? I've not noticed that side of you yet.
I
the
wouldn't
mean
be mean
side.
to you.
So who would you be mean to?
Just strangers.
Jeffrey Epstein?
Of course.
You'd be very mean to him. I wouldn't blame you. I got to be honest with you. I got to be honest with you. Yeah, there's this picture, Jeffrey Epstein's picture, and then you got all these other people. And there's Bill Gates, but most of these people, I don't even know who the hell they are. They're showing all these different people that apparently, he had some island or something, right?
Yeah, the island is, it was the island of Dr. Epstein, because, boy, apparently what went on there was awful. And that gal that they got incarcerated right now, Ghislaine, or however you say it, I can't remember how you,
Maxwell?
Yep. Oh, man, like, how awful would that be to have set up a meeting with her and a friend of yours and be like, hey, I got a friend of mine who's got a great opportunity for you, and then all of this stuff comes out about what she was trying to get you or your friends to do.
There you have it. Just I got to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I do look at the headlines every day, and to be totally honest, I don't really want to read about any of these stories. It's like people being filthy to one another, people stealing from one another, people acting like a-hole. It's not a lot of good news today. What's that all about? You think going into summertime, right around the corner, people be happy? No?
No, especially with the weather. I contacted Sven Sundgaard yesterday and was like, hey, man.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was like, hey, why don't you come on the show? Let's just talk about because we were talking yesterday about all the mosquitoes that are probably going to be a problem. And again, I think Sven may have big-timed me because they give that little indicator that they've read your message.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, old Svenny boy read that message, but boy, he did not get back to me yet. So I wonder if he's just maybe he's playing hard to get. I may have to drop him another line and be like, hey man, just come on and just talk about anything good that we can possibly look for this summer, because Chris Egert really brought the room down yesterday.
He really did
with that mosquito report.
No doubt about it. Now, where's Sven now?
NPR.
Oh, that's right. He went to NPR. That's right. I remember that. And he was at Channel 11, wasn't he, I think, back in the day?
Long time. Yeah. And then kind of got railroaded. And then.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah. Did you not read? Oh, yeah. I should find that for you. Listen, everybody has their own definition of that story. I read that story, and what I got out of it was this was a guy who was sharing some feelings, and Carol 11 was like, we told you not to do that. And then they decided to get rid of him to help cut a little bit of pay out of the budget. And then, he was doing weather reports on his deck just for YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, just to pass the time while he was kind of riding out his non-compete. He was, no joke, he was just doing his own local weather reports for TikTok and Instagram.
So what do you mean? Why did they get rid of him? Feelings about what?
Well, because there was a pastor of his that, and I apologize if people really know the story. I'm just kind of spitballing here. I think I know most of it. But there was a pastor that he had followed, and this pastor was like, hey, if you are a white supremacist or you're a Nazi, you're not welcome at our church. And
there's a good stuff going on.
Yeah. So Sven didn't say those things. He just shared the post. And Carol Levin came to him and said, can you please not do that? And Sven was like, sure, whatever. It's not like those words came out of Sven's mouth. But
right.
But if you share something like that, if you share a meme, if you share it, you might as well just say it because you can get canceled anyways. So he did it again like 4 months later, and Carol Levin canned him for that. But for me, I believe it was money.
If we're talking about Nazis?
Yeah, for telling people like, hey, if you have hate in your heart, you're not welcome here.
Shannon, that's what I told you.
Yeah,
I should leave.
She has hate in her heart. So I didn't know all that went on. I had no idea that's why he left her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he was a huge fan of mine, but that's what I was told anyway. But I don't know if that's why he's not calling you back.
Oh, why did he not like you?
I don't know. It's the same old deal. I'm sorry, but it's just some people, and I'm not being a pain in the ass here. I don't know if it's my brain, the look on my face, whatever the hell it is. Some people are afraid of me and won't admit it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why they are, to tell you the truth, because I am a wonderful human being. I would like you to know that. No, tell me, Shannon, what do you think of that? That some people, some guys just make other people very, and I don't know if it's fear or just make you uneasy or whatever that is for these guys.
Maybe it's your strong personality.
So is that what it is?
Sometimes people
because they're not funny.
Passive.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
Makes them nervous.
I suppose, but I honest to God, if there was one record of me attacking someone somewhere, then you'd have somebody go, I've never done that. I'm not going to put up with your BS. Like I said, the time that guy lifted that woman's skirt up in public, I went after him. But it's like, what if that were my daughter? What would I do then, right? Although he'd be dead probably then. Yeah. Don't be doing that to people. Yeah, I don't know. It's really, and I don't know if that's true or not because you hear that from other people, and then I would run into some people, and they'd go, no, I never said that. Who told you that? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of that going on, too, this yammering about. One thing I will tell you about Minnesota, and I was born here, I grew up here, and all the rest of it, but you better be careful in this state if you're successful, because there's a lot of resentment from those people. Oof. I'm serious. Minnesotans resent the hell out of people getting, I guess, I don't know about famous or doing well in their business. Unless they helped you, they don't like it. Is that a weird, what is that, like a Northern European deal or something?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. You're right, though. I agree with that. Anytime,
it's true.
Anytime you see somebody just even get an inkling of success, and it happens a lot here, especially like in the stand-up scene, when somebody hey, so and so is flying out to Vegas to go open up for so and so at a theater, and everyone goes, they don't deserve that. That guy's not funny. I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe he was funny at the right time. A booker saw him, and he had a lights out set, and now he's going to Las Vegas to open up in a theater. So. I don't know. Start working on your stuff instead of wondering or getting angry at everybody else about how they're being successful. Just because they're successful doesn't make you less successful, but you talking shit about them does make you less successful.
I agree.
For sure.
But I will tell you one thing. You want to talk about success or you want to talk about success? Because I heard yesterday, what's the guy's name? Cristobal or the soccer player? Christoph, or what the hell is it?
I don't follow soccer.
I don't either. Signed a deal yesterday. Soccer player, $150 million a year.
Jeez.
150. So you want to look at my success and compare it to his?
Yeah, right.
Good luck to me is all I have to say. I'm happy for the guy. Good for you, man. You're a great soccer player. You're making tons of money. The average starting salary now for a quarterback is $50 million a year. The average.
Yeah, somebody had sent us an email the other day when we were talking about Kirk Cousins, and they broke down what it is Kirk Cousins makes.
Yeah.
And they said basically it's about, I think, did he say $24,000 for every 3 and out? 3 and out, 3 plays and out. Kirk Cousins just made $24,000.
Isn't it like $75 million or something total?
It's ridiculous.
It's a big number. I know that. Mm-hmm. And the guy sucks. So I don't know. He does. He can't win. Mm-hmm. He's never won anywhere he's ever been. I mean, as far as winning is concerned, if you want to win, you got to be Kristyn Burtt. That's what the problem is right there. Oh, they get the big applause. Now you're getting applause when you come on.
I can't hear it on my end, so it just sounds silent.
There you go. Can you hear that?
Thank you.
There's people cheering. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Rudy's applauding.
Good
I'm
morning.
cheering.
May the 4th be with you.
I knew you'd do that. Get off my screen.
Actually, I have a viewer request on this story.
Uh-oh.
Carrie Fischer.
Carrie Fischer?
Yeah, they want me to. Carrie Fisher is getting her star on the Walk of Fame today
that's
here
very
in Hollywood. And this has been something that her fans have been talking about for so long. Mark Hamill went in 2018 and helped lobby it. But I don't think a lot of people realize it's $75,000 to get a star on the Walk of Fame.
That you have to pay?
You have to pay. So here's what usually happens. A fan club, a studio, your record label, they will pay for it because they usually do it in conjunction with some type of promotion, whether it's the launch of your movie, a new album, and they will use it as marketing costs. So I'm sure that they can write it off. And you also have to agree to show up to the ceremony.
Oh, that's true. I suppose that'd be embarrassing if you didn't. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why you'll see, like, if you ever go to Hollywood and take a look at the Walk of Fame, if you're like, why doesn't George Clooney have one or Julia Roberts? They don't want to show up for the ceremony, so they don't have a star.
Yeah, there you go. That makes total. Oh, by the way, I should introduce you to Shannon. She's in for, I don't know if you know this or not, but Brittany is spending her last day in prison today.
Oh,
So, yes,
wow. What has she been on prisoner release the last few days?
Yeah, just she comes and goes, and I get her special privileges and stuff. And
Shannon's a good friend.
Shannon's a really good friend showing up for that
Listening for
criminal
her.
Brittany.
Actually, Shannon and I were on together. I don't remember when, but I wasn't able to see.
A couple of weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah, so we're
Was it
face
2
to
weeks
face.
ago?
But one other thing I want to talk about the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I don't know if a lot of people realize this, real estate. Where does your star go is very political because
Oh, I bet.
yeah, you want to be like in front of the Dolby Theater. If you look at Carrie Fisher's, hers going to be right in front of Disney's El Capitan, great real estate, maybe in front of the Egyptian. But there are a lot of celebrities that are like in front of just like a smoke shop, maybe a pizza shop. Maybe you're not at the pretty end of Hollywood Boulevard.
Right.
So it can really be not great when you're like, oh, no one's going to come over here to see my star.
Yeah, probably not. And who decides where the star goes?
It's the Hollywood Walk of Fame committee.
So it's a
They
whole
always try
committee,
and like figure out like the best ones. And if you look, a lot of them make sense. It makes sense for Carrie Fisher to be in front of Disney's El Capitan because obviously Disney owns Star Wars and those properties. You'll see like Ryan Seacrest is in front of the Dolby Theater. American Idol for years did their finale there. So that's why it makes sense. But honestly, when you're like a smaller, maybe you're like a B-list talent, but have been around a long time, you finally get your star on the Walk of Fame, and you wind up in front of the sex shop. You're like, oh, thanks.
That'll happen. You know, they've been talking about doing that. They've been talking about doing that for years here. You know, putting up this Walk of Fame in Minnesota. And God, I was trying to think of who, because they asked me about this one person. Can't remember who the hell it was, but it just never happened. Minnesota, I don't think is that. Maybe Minnesotans just don't like that kind of deal, like the Walk of Fame thing. Plus, I don't know, where would they put it anyway? Because downtown, nobody goes downtown anymore.
I was going to say put it in the hamster trails because it's too cold to have it outside.
Oh, you could do that. Put it in the Skyway, the Walk of Fame in the Skyway, because it's too cold to walk outside.
But it's actually a good idea. Stars are in the sky. You put it in the Skyway.
Okay.
I'm thinking here.
That's all you ever do is just contribute. That's all that ever happens.
I know. It's so annoying. If
unbelievable.
anyone does want to watch the Carrie Fisher ceremony, it is broadcast live online at walkoffame.com, which is 11:30 a.m. here. So that'll be, 1:30 for you guys in the Midwest.
Did you spend any time with her?
I have not interviewed Carrie Fisher, but I did interview her mother, Debbie Reynolds.
Oh, sure.
And there was, especially after Debbie Reynolds passed away, there was a famous dance studio here. It was the Debbie Reynolds Dance Studio. And everything from like Madonna's Truth or Dare, Blonde Bombshell tour to Michael Jackson's Thriller was rehearsed there.
Mm-hmm.
And Todd Fisher, who was obviously Debbie's son, Carrie's brother, he inherited the building and then just couldn't afford it, and of course sold it off to an owner who destroyed it and turned it into condos.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and Hollywood's not great about preserving things whatsoever. So like all of that history was gone, and people tried for almost 2 years to try and get that building saved, and it just didn't work.
So something just occurred to me, just popped into my head. Is there anyone who's not on the Hollywood Walk of Fame that you think is a travesty, that they should be there, but they're not?
Clint Eastwood. He's another one.
Really?
Yeah, but he doesn't want to show up for the ceremony.
Oh, there you go. That's true. Well,
always
that's on
like
him.
is right because they're happy. I would say the Hollywood Walk of Fame committee, because you do have to be nominated and then they vote on it.
Right.
But as long as the star is willing to show up, they're happy to have you.
You know what we should set one up in here and just with a little maybe like the size of a silver dollar stars, just have the Walk of Fame right here in Studio A, B, C, and D. What do you think?
You could put it on the squares behind you.
Oh, yeah, see, we could put it right back there. The Walk of Fame. Although it'd be hard to walk on.
But then people aren't stepping on you every day.
That's true. That's a very good point.
And Donald Trump's star is vandalized probably every other month, that they're constantly having to. The last time I saw it, it was surrounded by like cones, and they had
really
ropes and stanchions. Yeah, and they're very like. Here's the point. I get it. You don't like them. It's fine, but they're so expensive for the Walk of Fame and the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce to maintain and repair that at one point they just put a plywood square over it, and they were like, "It's not there. Just don't even look at it," because it costs other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's the vandalism is not worth it. So I think for a long time there, they just put a plywood board over it and just said, nothing to see here.
So I have a question for you. Other than Adolf Hitler, I can't think of anybody I would care if they put him on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a tourist thing. I mean, it's an honor for the person who receives it, but do people like go and it's hard, they're hard to find unless you have to like go and like Google the location and try and locate it. I mean, everyone goes to certain stars, like Michael Jackson, everyone goes to visit his star.
Yep.
I'm just Aretha Franklin, she's always someone that has a crowd around it. There's only like a few people that are really going to go and visit your star a lot.
I understand. I was just trying to think of somebody. Does anybody go visit their star or wear their star? But all these people keep running through my head. I'm wondering if they're on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, if they're not, if whatever the situation is, because, they might have gotten involved in a little bit of trouble here and there, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, there's definitely controversial figures that are on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and they haven't removed them. I mean, if Donald Trump's star getting damaged every other month is not removed, there you go.
I have a question. Is there anybody you would hate enough to destroy their star? Like I said, other than Hitler, who cares?
Well, people were doing it, I also think, for a little bit of social media clout because they were filming it, and then they would sell the clip to TMZ. Like, there was a lot of that going on for a while. So, people want the notoriety.
So it's all making money again.
Yeah. My daughter and I were in Hollywood. This is years ago, but we were out there the same day. Do you remember when somebody went up to the Hollywood sign and they spelled Hollyweed?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So my daughter and I were there. We saw that, and then we went down to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and as we were walking, there was a guy walking, dragging a pickaxe.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, well, that's a little scary. So we walked down to the other side, and then the next day we saw on the news that that guy was arrested for taking that pickaxe to the Donald Trump star.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was the pickaxe one. That was probably the most famous Donald Trump vandalism star case. So
yeah. No, it was a very eventful day in Hollywood that day. Yes,
you got your money's worth on that trip. Mm-hmm. And just for anyone visiting Hollywood, and I'm talking about Hollywood, the city proper, it is not that safe. I'm not going to lie. So
it's not.
Yeah. Do your quick little tour of the Hollywood Walk of Fame. If you can see a movie at the El Capitan, it's a beautiful theater. They've got a live organist for every movie. And do the tour. There's a really great tour if you're into Oscars and things like that at the Dolby Theater, and get the heck out of there. They haven't cleaned up they've cleaned it up many times, but right now it hasn't been cleaned up for the 20th time, but it needs an overhaul, and it's sad because it's just not a place people should visit.
So do they still keep the lights on in the 11th floor in my old office there? They keep the light on just to... Tom was here.
They keep a candle, actually.
It's a candle. Okay, it's a candle. All right, well,
it smells good. It's scented and, good aromatherapy, so.
I love it. Is Pink still there? Across the street, the hot dogs.
Oh, Pink's Hot Dogs.
Yeah.
Pink's Hot Dogs, you mean on Melrose?
Right by the Capitol Records Tower. Used to be right across the street.
Oh, I know the main one is on, I don't think the one by Capitol Records is there.
Damn it.
It's on Melrose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be there. It was just, I actually loved Los Angeles for that part of it. All that very, like watching two guys walk Rod Stewart out to his car so drunk he couldn't walk by himself. Now that's a Hollywood thing right there, isn't it?
Hollywood has a lot of good nostalgic stories, and I think that that's what's really fun about it. And if you really get into like some of the old haunts and where people used to hang out and the stories, and even if you go back now, it's hard to believe, but the big paparazzi era in the early aughts here in Los Angeles, while they weren't healthy and they weren't like safe, 'cause paparazzi were like chasing people around the streets. There is something about it, like you would just like you'd be driving, you'd see this like swarm of photographers, and it was like the early years of TMZ. It was really interesting to like watch how these stars were born, like the Lindsay Lohans and the Paris Hiltons and the Kim Kardashians, and how some of them, all of them actually, are very present to this day.
Have you ever been in the Capitol Records Tower?
I haven't.
I guess I don't know if I know anybody that works there anymore, but you need to go in there. The studio there. Have you ever been in there, Rudy?
I haven't.
Shannon?
No, I haven't.
Capitol
Let's
Records
do a
Tower.
field trip.
It still has the original studio with the original mics, the original equipment and everything, where Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, all these, you go down the list of people that recorded in that studio way back in the day. You got to see it someday. You stand there, it's like, my God, all the people, superstars that recorded their stuff in this studio. It was amazing.
Yeah, the history is incredible.
It is.
I came to Los Angeles. I came as a baby, but the first time I remember, I was about 11, and I still remember the Capitol Records building. Like, there's certain things about your first visit to Los Angeles that will always stand out. And coming from small town Massachusetts, like just seeing cool things that had to do with the movies and TV, it was amazing. It's still like it imprinted on my brain.
Was the land still up on the Hollywood sign?
It was not.
What year was it was that like a high wind that blew over the land part of Hollywood land?
You know, I have a random story about the Hollywood sign. The Hollywood sign fell into disrepair, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it was Hugh Hefner who rescued it, not once, but twice.
Yep.
So he donated when he was alive, obviously. He donated money to have it repaired. And then the second time he saved it was actually, I'm going to say probably at this point, like maybe 15 to 20 years ago. The land was up for sale, and he helped raise the funds to have the city buy it back and make sure that it stayed in the right hands instead of it being developed into housing.
You know, one of the great stories about him, Hugh Hefner, goes out to the what the hell did they even call it? The Playboy Mansion West, I guess is what they called it, something like that. Did you ever hear the dollar amounts of that transaction? I think he owned it for like 20, 25 years or something before he died, and then they sold it. Something like that. Maybe it was longer than that. But he went out there, the Western Playboy Mansion, bought a mansion, and this place was a mansion for $1.1 million. Tons of land. I mean, he just is in the right place. He died. They sold the $1.1 million mansion for $110 million. Jeez.
Pretty good ROI.
That's not a return on investment. It's terrific, isn't it? $110 million. Like, good God.
And the history you're buying, too, with that.
Oh, God, yeah. Elvis is about, they still don't open the door in the Elvis bedroom, do they? He kept it locked the whole time. Because apparently, nobody knows if this is real or not, but apparently Elvis stayed there one night, and it got a little wild, apparently, with Elvis and some other, maybe women.
Ladies.
Ladies, yes, some other ladies. Exactly. So they kept it locked, and I don't know what the hell. I don't think anybody died or anything, thank God, and there was no, I don't think anything underhanded happened either. They just didn't, because he died very soon after that, and that's why they just didn't open the bedroom again, I guess. So now that the new guy owns it, because I was trying to think of it's the guy who owns Hostess Cupcakes that owns it now, I think.
I love a good Hostess cupcake.
I know, they're fantastic.
Gosh, that sounds so good. I haven't had breakfast. I'm like, that's the breakfast of champions.
Well, you know what? It's time for you to go anyway, so go get a Hostess Cupcake, sister.
Get the heck out of here.
I'm not kidding you,
See
though.
you all for Friday.
When I was a little boy, it was snowballs, but then when I got older, I just went to the cupcake. What do you think?
Just, you know what? The cream filling is like chef's kiss.
Okay, we're going to shut her down. We're only going to do 1 hour today.
Peel off the frosting on the top.
Oh, you mean to peel it back? Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And save that and eat that separately. I know. It's crazy, but it's so good.
No, it's a great call. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, everybody's asking me, when are you going to come to town for an appearance?
I don't know. When are we going to do this? Do we need to discuss it? Should I text you later?
Yeah, we should, because people are asking me when you're going to come and make an appearance here.
Okay.
So we got to get that taken care of.
Let's get it on the calendar just because it gets a little crazy too.
Because I'm a big shot, Tom. I'm a big deal, so I got to get it on the calendar.
I got daytime Emmys coming up. I got pet visits. I got all these things.
All
but
right.
no, I would like to get it on the calendar just that way we know what's happening for sure.
I'm not kidding. If Catherine ever had a twin sister, it would have been you. The two of you are the same person, for Christ's sake.
The only thing that's different is the height. I'm a shorty.
Oh, that's right. She's about 5 inches taller than you or something.
Yeah, she's got a lot of height on me.
we got to get you into town, so that'd be great. We'll talk to you tomorrow, though. Right?
Sounds good. I'll text you later. Make that Minneapolis trip happen.
We'll
finally.
get it happen. There's no question. We'll get it taken care of. Kristyn Burtt,
Bye,
ladies
everyone.
and gentlemen. Just another very, very pleasant person to work with on this show, Shannon. What do you think?
She is pretty nice.
She's a very, very nice person. We don't put up with any a-holes. Well, Brittany, we put up with her. She's kind of an a-hole, don't you think?
She's not great.
The greatest. Thank you for coming today, Shannon. You just made my day. Poor Britt takes one day off and gets blasted constantly. That's how it should be. All right, we do have to take a break here, I know, so we'll get that done. As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the Giza Dream Bed Sheets. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Mike found the world's best cotton. It's called Giza. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable, which is a great thing. Mike's Giza sheets come with a 60-day money-back guarantee, a 10-year warranty. Yes, I did say 10-year warranty. Giza Dream Sheets come in a variety of sizes and colors. Mike's latest incredible deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you'll receive 50% off the Giza Dream Sheets. You'll receive a set for as low as $29.98. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, and use promo code TOM. There you find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper, MyPillow towel sets, and so much more. Call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, or go to MyPillow.com. Make sure you use the promo code TOM, T-O-M.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bialke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
Yeah, Tom will be back in just a moment. In the meantime, Brittany's out for today. We have her friend Shannon sitting in. Morning, Shannon.
Hello.
So Brittany took off today because she was on her way to go, I think, like a nursing school orientation, something or another, which I read as, you have no faith in this show.
She needs a backup plan.
Yeah, plan B. Everybody remembers... what was it? What's his name? Christian Bale as Batman.
Yeah.
There's one part of the movie where they're like, "Hey, the only way you get out of the hole is by not tying yourself to a rope. You can't. If you have a net or a fallback plan, you will always go to that fallback plan. You have to just let this be the thing that it's going to be." And when she was like, I'm going to go do this nursing school thing because, I just got to take a class just in case. You never know what's going to happen. Immediately, I was like, well, maybe if you put a little bit of faith into the thing we're doing, that might, spin dividends.
So what are we talking? We're talking about Brittany?
Talking about Brittany and how she decided to take this nursing class for today. And I said it's because she has no faith in the show whatsoever.
Yeah, when I want to look to get better, I'm going to go right to Brittany. What a great idea. What a good plan that would...
Dinner and a show.
Dinner and a show. Yeah, I've decided, by the way, there's a new edict out on the morning show here, and that's that when somebody has to go pee, if they don't get back in time, tough titty. It's on the other side of the building, for God's sake.
It is.
So I'm not worried about that. If we don't get back in time, tough titty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what else has happened? So, yeah, Brittany will be back, I think. And she's coming back tomorrow, I think.
Tomorrow, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That'll be the ticket. Yeah, I'm just looking at some headlines, and there's not one of these stories I want to talk about. It's all very negative news. I kind of wonder, I have to ask a question because people get so pissed off at me when I ask this question, if they're on the left or the right or whatever. And I'm not trying to be a smartass. I'm just observing, and I say to them, I don't care if it's Trump or Biden. Neither one of them is a great guy. I just don't get it. They're both in it for the money. They're both scam artists. They both have pulled over things on people, causing other people harm. What's the difference? You guys get a difference?
No, they're both super old too.
Ixnay on the old age stuff. That's all I'm
Not
saying.
to be ageist, but
Well, they're both going to be 80, or are they? Well, he already is 80. Biden's already 80, isn't he?
I think so.
And then Trump, I think, is turning 80 in a year or two or something like that.
Yeah, 82.
But again, what is the difference? They're, like I said, they're both such obvious scam artists that how do people not notice that?
Yeah, they definitely are very good at being able to pull the wool over your
yeah.
eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And for some, hey, listen, I'm not a Trump guy, I'm not a Biden guy, but
me neither.
I will say that it feels like there's a lot of people that are, whatever Trump says, they just go hard in the paint the opposite direction.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is, but whatever he says, it can't be true. Like, he was one of the first people to go, hey, this virus maybe didn't come from a bat in a wet market. It may have come from a lab. And everyone went, that's crazy.
Right.
You're a racist. And even, and even Jon Stewart sat back and was like, okay, actually, I kind of agree with him on this one. And they went, well, you're a racist, too. And he was like,
Oh, they went after him, too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Hard.
God.
not my Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Not my Jon Stewart. Really? Is that your Jon Stewart?
Love him.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, Shannon. If you don't want to talk about it, I don't care. That's
All
good
right.
for you. It's good for you. We don't have to talk about it. But as a black woman in America today, don't you get sick of people trying to make great gains for themselves by pretending to support black people?
There definitely is a lot of pandering in
I
politics.
hate that so much.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm talking about people in the street, too. I'm talking about major corporations.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, well, I grew up, like I said, in a neighborhood. Everybody got along. Everything was great. I didn't hear about all this is racist and that racist until I got out of my own neighborhood where I didn't run into that many racists. I suppose they were there, but I didn't see them.
Yeah. I think that some people have ideas in their heads that aren't, they're a little bit more racist than they'd like to believe. But I don't think that everyone is racist inherently. You know?
I still just love the line from Blazing Saddles. We'll take the blacks and the Chinese, but we don't want the Irish. I think that's one of the greatest lines.
I stand by that.
Yes, I stand by that. No Irish people can come in here. No, and I hope I didn't make you uncomfortable asking that question, but I talked to a lot of my friends about this off the air. It's like, it's so obvious they're pretending to support people for their own benefit.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, God, that's disgusting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Whatever, I suppose. But yeah, I'm looking at the stories, and it's all very negative stuff, not great. There's still a lot of Biden and Trump in the news, and there's going to be a lot of Biden and Trump in the news for, the next year and a half? Something like that. Ralph Boston died. I should mention that because one of the greatest athletes of all times, before our time, obviously. It was in 1960, I think. Yeah, I think it was 60. Let me see if I can find. Ralph Boston, the Olympic long jump champion who broke Jesse Owens' world record, then later had his own mark eclipsed by Bob Beeman's record-shattering leap at Mexico City Games. Well, Ralph Boston died on Sunday. He was 83 years old. Looking back, what a tremendous athlete. Very, very nice man. Sorry to see him go, but Ralph Boston was a supreme athlete. But isn't it weird now, these supreme athletes, you look at the athletes nowadays, and what was it again? They tracked Usain Bolt doing 28 or 29 miles an hour.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah. That's terrifying.
How the hell can you run that? I mean, he could run alongside a car till it gets up to 30 miles an hour. What an amazing athlete the man is, but whatever.
Yeah, I think Phil Mackey was saying that on his Peloton, he gets up to 24 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's right.
So imagine Usain Bolt flying past you at 28 miles an hour while you are on a bicycle.
You're on a bicycle.
It's actually more terrifying, riding a bike with a man chasing you.
Yeah.
And he's faster than you.
Yeah, he can catch up no matter how fast you think you can go. He's going to catch you. That would be kind of a problem. This story I do want to cover because I don't know if you know this or not, Shannon, but we were talking, and it's been talked quite a bit about. We talked about it, I guess, 2 weeks ago for the first time, that the McDonald's logo, to a friend of mine, we're in, I think, 16, 17 years old, and he was driving along. He goes, man, why did McDonald's do that? I said, why did they do what? and I'll look down why I say this, because I'm going to say the word that he said. He looks at me and goes, "Why do they use a pair of titties as their logo?" I said, "What?" He goes, "Look at that."
I used to think that when I was younger, too.
Well, you know what? It turns out what? Now, who revealed that's exactly what they meant to do? They wanted it to look like drooping mothers' breasts feeding children. So it's like, come to McDonald's because it's kind of like mother's milk. I mean, that's basically what they were trying to imply. Now, they didn't turn it upside down, which would have made it even worse, like the W or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, that just amazes me that McDonald's is exactly what he told me all those years ago. A high school kid said, no, that's not an M. That's a pair of titties. Okay.
Yeah, we got an email that came in from somebody who wanted to stay anonymous, but they said the meaning of the McDonald's symbol, the logo for McDonald's is the golden arches of the letter M on the red background. The M stands for McDonald's, but the rounded M represents Mummy's Memories, according to a design consultant.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Come and get your mother's milk at McDonald's.
Yeah. I've noticed that there's a certain car company in town that is from Burnsville, and they sell Dodge. And if you put the D and the B together, you guys catching what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It very much so.
That's
very
true.
Something phallic on the back of vehicles. I was like, did somebody not? Who greenlit this logo? Why didn't somebody not?
They didn't notice?
Kind of looks like a penis.
They did not notice. Well, so now here we go. We talked about the logo for McDonald's, and it has been revealed that it was intentionally drawn that way to resemble, I guess, a pair of breasts that are full of milk and ready to serve you and keep you alive. Well, now we found out this is going to be a problem with the child labor laws in America. Investigators find 10-year-olds working unpaid at McDonald's.
Where was this at?
What McDonald's?
It was... I'm going to scroll down.
Yeah, the Girl Scouts right now are like, yeah, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, that's true.
We've been having girls get unpaid labor for years now.
You know that I always buy every brand they have. When I walked out of a supermarket and those little girls are out there selling cookies, I buy one of everything. Just because they're such nice kids and they get all excited about it, and it's just... And then Catherine takes them all away and gives them to someone else. I don't get the cookies. Happened in Havertown, Pennsylvania. I don't know where Havertown is.
I don't know either.
I love Pennsylvania. Great state, but I have no idea where Havertown might be. I'm guessing probably western Pennsylvania would be my guess. That's what I'm thinking. Federal investigators say they found 3 McDonald's franchises to be violating child labor laws, infractions that included working 2 10-year-olds without paying them. The 10-year-olds worked till 2 o'clock in the morning. Jesus. The franchises, who operate a total of 62 locations in Kentucky, Indiana, Maryland, Ohio, were employing 305 children, working hours beyond the legal limits, and doing job tasks prohibited by law. Under no circumstances should there ever be a 10-year-old child working in a fast food kitchen around hot grills, ovens, and deep fryers. A Labor Department official said in a news release the 3 franchisees were hit with a civil penalty of $212,754. So, do you have any idea where Havertown might be? Because
It is a suburb of Philadelphia.
Oh, it is? Mm-hmm. God, I thought that would have been with the child labor. I thought that would have been out there where they could hide it a little bit out west. So.
Philly kids working at McDonald's in between 4th and 5th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought immediately, like, well, maybe the parents of these kids are the parents who own the franchises. And then I was like, then that's totally fine, because when we were kids, my family owned a roofing company. And guess what? Every summer you were out there picking nails out of lawns, and you weren't getting paid for any of that. But then when you said 305, I was like, all right, well, maybe they don't have 305 children around.
Yeah, maybe there aren't 305 kids in the family. It's a possibility in any case. Yeah, I that's the kind of thing I just do not, because don't McDonald's do pretty well? They don't make a ton of money, but McDonald's do pretty well, don't they?
I would imagine so.
I think somebody told me that even one that's not doing all that well makes a couple hundred grand a year or something, a profit. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
I know a bunch of kids. I should start a McDonald's.
Yeah,
you should. Absolutely, get McDonald's going. You'll be good to go. Just kind of perusing the highlights and the headlights today and the headlines. I don't want to talk about this stuff anymore. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You guys do what you do and whatever, and every story now is going to be about the election for the next year and a half, and we understand that, but I know. Don't you just hate that?
So boring.
This Bill is the biggest jackass I've ever met in my life. Well, thank you. Jamie Foxx breaks his silence on social media. He thanks fans for all the love during his weeks in the hospital. He's been in the hospital for weeks. What the hell's going on here? Does anybody know? I have no clue what the hell's going on. Jamie Foxx has broken his silence on social media 3 weeks after he was hospitalized. What daughter Corinne said was a medical complication. Appreciate all the love, the 55-year-old actor said in an Instagram post on Wednesday, his first since April 6th. Feeling blessed, celebrities like DJ Khaled, AJ McLean, and Ludacris. I love how they spelled Ludacris, by the way. It's a great spelling. Responded with a message of support. CNN reports, sending you strength and love, wrote Jeremy Renner. Oh, see, now Jeremy Renner just went through hell himself.
Yeah.
And the first thing he does is reach out and puts his attention on somebody else. Seems like a hell of a nice guy, doesn't he?
Yeah, Jeremy Renner?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just saw a picture of him the other day out in public using a cane.
Oh.
So at least he's up and walking.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. Fox, who was still hospitalized in Atlanta, also expressed appreciation for Nick Cannon, his temporary replacement on the game show Beat Shazam. TMZ reports this season, not wanting fans of the game show to miss a minute of the fun. Nick Cannon has offered to fill in as a guest. I'm sorry, but I can't move on from this because I just heard about this yesterday. This whole Nick Cannon thing. Apparently somebody's putting out all these pictures of like entire football stadiums filled with people. Nick Cannon's kids get together.
Yeah, I was going to say Beat Shazam. Shazam is actually the name of one of Nick Cannon's kids. So yeah.
Yeah, Beat Shazam because he's a pain in the ass. That's why. Yeah, I guess the more people he can find crowded together, the more he posts the picture of, here's Nick Cannon's kids having lunch together. Mm-hmm. What's he got, like 12, 13 kids, something like that?
He's got 12, I think.
12?
Yeah, and he spent, what day was it? He spent some day with them recently. It was like some sort of holiday that I was hearing about. But he basically just like went around to, it was Easter. That's what it was. He dressed like an Easter bunny. And he started at like 7 a.m. and then he didn't get home until about 10:30 that night because he went to all of his kids' Easters to see all of them. And it took him all day.
See, that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. That is a wonderful thing right there. You got to support your kids, man.
I mean, it was the first time he had seen them in like 7 years, but totally very nice that he was there but one time on Easter.
So did you break the chain, Shannon? And you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
The chain for what?
Everybody that works on this show was abandoned by their father.
I am adopted, so yes.
Oh. No wonder why we like you.
4 for 4, baby. 4 for 4. Isn't that do you think, now there's got to be a reason that we all ended up in an industry like this.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we need attention, apparently. Don't you think?
Yeah.
There is an attention part to that. If Dad won't pay attention to me, all these other people will.
I'll make them laugh.
I'll make them laugh,
They'll
Dad.
stick around.
No, it's pretty damn amazing. So honest to God, you kept the string intact. Anybody comes in,
Proud
does the
to
show.
do it.
Matter of fact, if you're not available sometime and Brittany has to leave, I'm going to interview people and say, unless your father abandoned you, you can't come on and do the show.
Yeah, let's see the cigarette burns you put out on your forearm. Yeah. And then you can come on this show.
Yeah, you have to earn your way in, and that's all there is to it. Although I got to tell you, compared to a lot of dads in my neighborhood, I'm glad he abandoned me. I'll tell you that. Holy Christ. Dad going home, getting drunk, coming home and being violent as hell with the kids. That's a nice touch, right? Although one time I do remember, I was maybe 14 years old, I think I was, 14 or 15. And I was going to sneak out of the house, go have some drinks with my friends after dark, right? This is in the summertime, don't have to get up for school. My mom wouldn't let me go out after dark. Not the safest neighborhood in the world, so I tried to sneak out of the house by climbing out the second-story window, landed luckily it was under my right knee, but I almost landed right on top of a fence with my crotch. I'd have probably died. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my right leg hooked around the fence, so it did not feel good. Don't get me wrong; it still didn't feel great. But I'll never forget that, trying to sneak out to have some wheels with my buddies, and I end up with one bad gam. It's unfortunate, right?
Did you still go out?
Yes.
There you go.
I was limping the whole time, but Hey, when they got the Schweel, we got the, what was that again? Oh, Pfeiffer. There was a beer called Pfeiffer. I think it was made in Wisconsin. I think you get 2 cases. Matter of fact, I remember. You can get 2 cases of Pfeiffer, 48 beers for $5.
Okay.
I will never forget. You get 2 cases of beer for $5. Now, this is a few years ago. And we could put down a lot of beer back in those days.
Looks like it's still open.
Pfeiffer is?
Yeah.
Oh, God, is it? How much is it now for a case of beer?
I'm just on their website right now, but yeah, it had like a red logo, like red script.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
That's the one.
It says their brewery is reopening. I'm not sure exactly. Let's see if I can find like
field trip
contact or something. But yeah, it is funny when you see some of these old logos.
Yeah,
because it's just like it's a patriot playing a flute on the side of a beer can. It's like, okay, sounds good, bud.
Good.
Yeah,
works for us, no question. It's all good. No question, it's all good. So yeah, Pfeiffer's still. Are they reopening or are they still in business?
Yeah, it says brewery reopening soon, so I don't know exactly. But it looks like this website. I mean, they do have merch that you can buy. They have a lot of pint glasses and T-shirts, hats, pins, stuff like that. So. Let's see. Read the Pfeiffer beer history. You said it was out of Wisconsin?
That's what I thought.
You thought it was? Yeah. I mean, so many beers came out of Wisconsin.
Oh, God, yes.
Mm-hmm.
No question about it. My God, did we have fun drinking Pfeiffers, though. I'm just telling you.
It looks like it had, the original can had the, not like the tab that we know it now, but it had like that weird pullback. It left that sort of teardrop opening on the top of the can.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Oh, man, that is old school.
That's going back to, like I said, that's going back to 7th, 8th, 9th grade. That's when we drank most of the Pfeiffers.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
Well, it looks like they had one brewery in Detroit, Michigan at some point.
Oh, okay.
So it's still Midwest. But, sometimes these places, I mean, Pabst, how many times is packed up out of Wisconsin and went to Texas and then back to Milwaukee.
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm. I love Milwaukee. One of the most underrated cities in America. It's just a very interesting city because of the people. You found that you guys spent any time in Milwaukee?
I've never been.
I've been many times.
And what do you think?
I love it.
I do too.
It's one of my favorite places. Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, but I got to do this to Shannon too. I got to tell you. The first time I ever went to Milwaukee was to cut a Miller beer commercial, as a matter of fact. The first time I ever went there, and I go past the Performing Arts Center, which they put on all the plays and all that stuff, the Performing Arts Center. And right down the block is a strip club called Arts Performing Center.
That's really good.
I don't even know if it's still there, but that's very clever. Performing Arts Center and Arts Performing Center. I love that so much. But the food there is great. The people are terrific. You can find a beer. There's no doubt about that in Milwaukee. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to spend a little time there, I think you'd like it. It's completely different from Minneapolis, St. Paul, even though it's just across one state. But I think you'd like it. That's all I'm saying. We should probably take a break because Chris Egert's going to join us in a couple of minutes. You want to get that done?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do it.
We shall be right back right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Tom Barnard here. You might not know this about me and about my family, but we're kind of Nissan strong. I say that because I own a Nissan Altima from Walser Nissan, and I love it. My son Andy owns a Nissan Rogue Sport from Walser Nissan, and my daughter-in-law Melissa, yeah, you guessed it, drives a Nissan Kicks and carts grandson Ethan safely around town, also purchased at Walser Nissan. You want to know who else is Nissan strong in the Twin Cities? Walser Nissan and their trifecta of stores. Down south, GM Dan Resch at Walser Nissan in Burnsville. West of the Metro, just off Highway 12 and Wayzata Boulevard, is Casey Novotny's Walser Nissan Wayzata. And in Coon Rapids, north side of Highway 10 and Round Lake Boulevard, Jay Buck runs the show at his Nissan store. This month, you could test drive the all-new affordable Nissan Ariya, all-new electric crossover SUV at all 3 Nissan stores. When you do, don't forget to let them know the Tom Barnard family sent you, Nissan strong and loyal like me and my family. Even if you're just Nissan curious, go to Walser.com and select the Walser Nissan store nearest you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the weather this morning. Mostly sunny and warm with a high of 75 today. Sunny, warm, and 75, baby. Partial sunshine with an isolated shower in the afternoon, a high of 70 tomorrow. On Saturday, partly sunny with scattered showers possible, a high of 69. On Sunday, partly sunny with scattered showers, maybe some thunder, 72. Then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 72, 73, 71. So the weather has improved greatly. Yes, there's going to be some rain, but it's going to be off and on, not all day. Currently, it is sunny, and it is 56 degrees right now. 56, the IQ of Chris Egert.
Is that good?
56? Might be a little low. I'm not sure.
So that shows you what I know. And
Yeah.
it pretty much justifies what you just said to me.
Didn't they prove that the IQ test really means nothing? It's not very accurate.
I feel like only people that score very low
Yeah, say that.
talk negatively about
Good point,
right.
Shannon.
You
I
might
don't think
be
I've ever
right.
taken an IQ test. Have you guys taken an IQ test?
Yes, sir, several times.
Yeah?
I think I have.
I don't, but I kick ass on the Wordle every day. So
See,
I feel
there you
like
go.
I'm a very smart guy. Yeah.
That's all the IQ test I need. Tom, did you do it for a bit on the air or?
No, it was I tested out of high school.
Oh,
because
that's right.
When I was 16 years old, so they had to put me through all just to make sure I wouldn't go out as a 16-year-old high school graduate. And by the way, I still had to show up for homeroom every morning so they could say that I was there so they could get the federal funds.
Yo, of course.
I'm not kidding. They made me show up for
I
homeroom.
remember you telling us that story before. That I guess I'm not surprised.
I'm not either, but yeah, nobody should brag about their IQ because the highest IQ ever recorded, I believe, was a woman whom you would all know the name of. I believe her IQ is 225. So good luck to all of us.
I mean, if you're the smartest person in the room, don't you just know you're the smartest person in the room?
Oh yeah.
Like, do you need to? Like, nobody who's really super smart would be flexing about how high their IQ is, right?
No,
They're just sitting back, sizing up everybody and looking around going, God, you guys are a bunch of dummies.
Marilyn Voss Savant is her name, and I believe she's married to Dr. Jarvik, the Jarvik Hart. Remember the Jarvik
yeah.
Hart? I believe she's married to him. I don't know if that's still... Maybe those kids aren't together anymore, but they were. But yeah, she does, I think, doesn't she do an advice column for syndicated newspapers? I think. I don't. She used to.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know either, but let's add them all together, see if the four of us can get to 225. What do you say? See if we can eventually hook up with that. I don't think it'll be.
Score.
Do you think it would be nice to be that smart? That's got to be painful, don't you think?
I feel like the smarter you are, the harder it is. You just be so frustrated all the time.
I sure would think so. No question about it. So, Mr. Egert, what the hell have you been up to?
Oh, gosh. I'm just looking ahead to the next week because it's the fishing opener next week,
Oh,
right?
that's right.
So I'm going to be in Mankato next. The Tom Barnard podcast news will be originating from Mankato next week, Friday morning.
Man, I love Mankato, baby. I haven't been there in a while now, but you drive down 169.
Yeah,
Great
it's
drive.
a super pretty drive. Like
It is.
along the Minnesota River there, to me, that's one of the prettiest spots in the state.
Especially the part that's owned by Marty Davis. Those spots are really nice.
Quite a lot of that, isn't there?
Yes, there's quite a lot of land. There's no doubt about that. But God, I haven't talked to Marty in a while. I got to call him.
Got the Cambria silo.
Yes.
And all sorts of stuff.
That whole setup down there. Isn't that great?
Yeah, I like Mankato too. I'm looking forward to that. But it looks like the weather's, I mean, you just brought it up in the forecast. The weather's finally starting to turn a corner.
Yes, sir.
For sure in southern Minnesota, all the lakes are going to be open for the opener. But I know last week we checked, that was earlier this week, we checked in with somebody up in Otter Tail, and some of the lakes there and in northern Minnesota it's still very questionable whether they're going to have ice off the lakes.
Yeah.
By the opener.
It's no joke. I got to go up to and put the dock in this weekend, and
Really?
half of Winnebagosh is still on ice. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wondered because it's been so windy the last couple days. A lot of times a big wind like that will just move the sheet of ice and it will, clear it off. I wonder if some of those lakes, I hadn't checked in with anybody at Mille Lacs. Mille Lacs is usually a big one that when there's a huge wind thing that was going on, that they usually kind of clear the ice off pretty quickly, which also unfortunately usually means that sheet of ice like slides into a bunch of people's cabins and stuff too.
Oh, I bet caused a lot of damage. I would
You fish anymore, Tom? Did you fish?
No, I've never been a fisher person. Never. I don't know why. First of all, I don't like fish because they made me eat it every Friday as a Roman Catholic boy.
Oh, yeah.
They forced me to eat fish every Friday, so I'm like, I'm never eating fish again as long as I live. Because the
I can
fish
see
we
that.
got in North Minneapolis wasn't exactly your high-tone stuff, I'll tell you that.
Well, I just saw a story about that. I can't remember where it was. Just in the last day or two, that like those they're called forever chemicals.
Oh yeah,
they're finding forever chemicals in like all these freshwater fish.
Yep.
All over the place. And I know everyone's always kind of, particularly in more urban areas, like, I wouldn't necessarily eat that fish if you catch it. But I don't know. You kind of want, like my kid was there with me. And he goes, where is that stuff? And I kind of looked at it. I'm like, I don't know. Unfortunately, I think it's probably everywhere at this point.
Yeah, you might be. I will tell you this though, that I do like crustaceans, your shrimp, your crab, lobster.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Because we didn't have a lot of that on Fridays.
Shannon, do you fish?
No, I don't have the attention span for it.
Yeah, it's tough.
I have ADHD.
So, Rudy, you do fish?
Yeah, quite a bit. Yep.
Do you really?
Yeah, so I'll be up. I got a show Friday, but then leaving super early, like around 3 a.m. on Saturday. Get to the cabin, be on the lake by about 7:30. We'll fish mostly all day, and then half a Sunday, and then come back, and then go back the following weekend as well. And then, in the summertime, try to hit it up as much as you can in the first couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, northern Minnesota is great. Central northern Minnesota is great.
Yeah.
The whole different setup. No question about it. I think we're going up for the 4th of July. We're going to go up north, probably up on the North Shore. I've never been there.
Yeah, Duluth, right? You were saying Duluth?
Yeah. I've been as far as, like 2 harbors, maybe a little past 2 harbors.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still, about an hour and a half, 2 hours to go to Grand
You're
Marais.
going to Grand Marais, right?
Yeah. Catherine and I are going to, and then we're going to meet the kids in Duluth coming back. So I'm looking forward to it, because I absolutely love that. Well, to tell you the truth, there are not a whole lot of bed, because I've worked and lived anywhere from Duluth to Grand Forks to Fargo I never lived down south, Rochester, Mankato. I never lived down there. But I love those areas anyway. Like I said, that drive, we were just talking about that drive on 169 is gorgeous. No question.
We had a segment on the show yesterday about Lake Pepin. I'm quickly becoming Team Lake Pepin.
Are you?
It's a really pretty area. Everyone always goes north, but like southern Minnesota, particularly down between here and Rochester, it's also like super pretty. And not that I'm in the market for buying a cabin or something anywhere, but there are some actual fairly affordable things that are available to buy in the Lake Pepin area. Much more affordable than you would get if you were to head north.
I would imagine. By the way, I just got a text message from maybe a relative, maybe a close friend. Barnard, you're a moron. You lived in Le Sueur when you were in first grade. So I have lived down near Mankato. I just forgot. Well, I was 4 years old, so it's not like I got a lot of great memories.
Well,
what was your memory of Le Sueur?
Yeah.
There's lots of grass outside.
There you go.
Well, it's called Le Sueur, which is French for the sewer.
The sewer.
So that makes sense, yes.
Wasn't he like one of those, what do they call those? What the hell are those people called that they go new territory?
Explorer.
Kind of an explorer, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that what
That's
he was?
what I was thinking, too.
I think he was with Father Hennepin or some damn thing. I guess. I don't know. But it's kind of, I only lived there for about 4 months anyway, and that was in first grade, so I got some memories. I know I lived there till Christmas because my brother tried to talk me into that the star was actually Santa up in the sky, and I do remember that. So that was nice. Anyway.
When did you guys first find out about Santa and like when the secret was busted?
I still haven't. So thanks for bringing it up. I still have deep belief, and now you've ruined it for the rest of time. Do you remember, Shannon?
I never believed in Santa.
Never even as a little kid?
But my younger siblings did, but I never did.
So. Didn't have an attitude,
did you ever rat them out and tell them?
No, I wouldn't tell people. I wouldn't tell people.
Yeah. There's a great documentary with Mick Foley, the professional wrestler, called I Am Santa. And in it, he's on the cusp of having to break the news to his almost teenage boys. So there's this great moment at the end. There's this great moment at the end of the documentary where he dresses up as Santa every year. And then it's Christmas Eve, and the family's upstairs around the Christmas tree. And they have a big house. They have a few trees in the house. And the mom is like, guys, I think I hear something downstairs. And they're like, oh, it's Santa. And then they go downstairs, and there's Mick Foley dressed up like Santa. And they're like, "Oh, Dad, that's so lame. Like, you're not Santa." And then they hear like a big crash upstairs in the living room, and the boys go running upstairs, and there is the actual Santa standing there, and the boys lose their minds. They're sobbing. They're like, "I can't believe it. He's real." It'll leave you a puddle. Oh, I love those days. It hit me when my daughter one day was like, "Oh, really, Dad? Santa gave this to me? Okay, sure."
Don't ruin Santa. I love Santa.
I feel like it's like the end of their innocence, right?
Yeah.
Like, you tell kids all kinds of stuff when they're really little, and you just want to be happy because when they get older and life's gonna take a shit on them just like it does everybody, and you just love that innocence about it. I remember my youngest, she's super smart as a whip. She figured it out we were at the mall buying something for like my sister's random boyfriend at the time. And she saw what I bought for him. And like, it was 2 weeks later, we're opening presents and they were from Santa. She probably wasn't any more old, probably 6 or 7. And she looked at the thing and she looked at me and she goes, "I just saw you buying that 2 weeks ago."
Yeah.
Whoops. It'll all work out in the end.
Yeah.
We had one of the greatest Santas of all time. A guy. You guys ever met Fitz? Michael Fitzgibbons, my friend.
Mm-mm.
Michael has a voice kind of like this. Got a very deep voice, and he's 6'5", weighs about 310, and he dresses up like Santa every year. He's a great Santa, except he's got that hey ho ho ho.
Yeah, right.
Right. My favorite one is he comes in the house one year, and you could not tell he was, not a real Santa. He looked really real, and he walks in. He goes, "Ho, ho, ho, Santa's here, kids." And all the kids run, "Oh, my God, it's great." My nephew walks by and goes, "Hey, Fitz, how you doing?" That's so cool.
Did he break character then, or did he stick with it?
No, he stuck with it. He was very see, I love those times. The little kids, you take them to see Santa or whatever the holiday is. I love that, watching little kids get so damn excited about that stuff.
I know.
They don't do the windows downtown Minneapolis anymore, do they? They used to dress them up for Christmas every year.
I think they've made there's a bit of a movement to get that going again when they reopen that Dayton's project down there.
Yeah.
But I never go down there, so I didn't see it. I think we had it on the news.
Well, you don't like getting beat up? What's the problem?
Listen, I don't have a big problem with downtown Minneapolis. I'm just a loser. Like, I live in the suburbs, so I'm like, okay.
I'm a loser.
I drive through St. Paul, Minneapolis every day, but I got to get back out to my strip malls and my tract homes.
Are you the one I told the story about my friend that said, I don't believe that downtown Minneapolis is bad at all. I'm going to go down for a walk down Hennepin Avenue. Did I tell you that story?
No.
Oh, it was like last year, 2 years ago, whenever the hell it was. It was during COVID, so it was probably 2 years ago. But he said, "I'm going to go downtown and walk downtown and prove to people this is not weird at all and nothing's going on. It's not that big a deal." I get a call about 20 minutes later. "Tom, I made a huge mistake." I said, "Why? What's the problem?" He goes, "I walked down Hennepin Avenue." I said, "Wasn't any violence?" He goes, "Well, not involving me, but I had to walk through 2 naked women who were fist fighting."
Oh, dude, why do I always miss the good stuff?
Yeah, we always miss the good stuff, don't we? They're slugging it out on Hennepin Avenue, and they're both naked.
Sometimes you gotta.
Yeah,
I get it.
Shannon, you're a bartender, right?
Yeah.
Where do you Well, can I ask, or just tell what part of town?
Actually, right here in St. Louis Park.
St. Louis Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the booze hut?
No, right around at Punch Bowl Social.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to open a bar called the Booze Hut. What do you think?
I like it.
I'll work there for you.
All right, sounds good.
I got
Shannon
some,
will be.
I
You'll
got
be
some
running
10-year-olds too. We can get some cheap child labor.
Some free child labor we could get. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah. Shannon, is Punch Bowl where Toby Keith used to be?
It's right across from it.
Yep.
Okay.
That thing's still not filled.
No.
Toby Keith is still empty. After what, 3 years now?
It's been at least probably 5 years.
5 years, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
One of the more depressing things that ever happened in my adulthood happened at Toby Keith's. I was out with some friends way back in the day, and it's probably 10 plus years ago. And we were out, blah, 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 blah. And this, fairly attractive younger gal come over to me, and she kind of like sized me up, looked me up and down, looked right at me and said, "You probably used to be good looking."
How old was the kid?
Oh, no.
I'm guessing she was, mid-20s, early 30s. And I was like, oh, my God.
Oh, funny.
Just kill me.
Oh,
Like,
no.
I don't think I've gone to the bars like that ever since.
You
then.
left
I'm
and
just
never
like,
came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'll just sit here at the bar and drink alone.
Back
with a
to your
bunch of other
suburbs.
sad men, right?
That place used to have a brass rail on the floor right up against the bar. You could put your feet on it.
Oh, yeah.
And there was one time I was in there, and I'll kind of show you guys. Chris, you can see this on the camera, but I was standing on the rail like this, and I was up a little bit higher, and I was ordering drinks for people, and this girl came up, and she got next to me, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And we start chatting it up, and then I'm like, "Hey, my friends and I are back, kind of back in the back corner over there. We got a table. Do you want to join us?" And she's like, "Yeah, that sounds great. Let me go grab my friends." And I said, "Great." And I jumped down off the brass rail, and she saw like I was a half an inch shorter than her, and she's like, "You know what? I think I'm just going to grab my friends. We're going to go to another bar."
Oh, well.
Yep.
We've all been through that, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Not all of us.
Not all of us. No, I suppose not. Well, have you always been accepted? So no matter who you, not hit on or anything, but wanted to engage with, you've never been rebuffed?
I don't think so, but I don't
Good.
I don't hit on people that often.
Well, I suppose that's true. You probably don't, but I mean, I pretty much. Well, Chris, were you ever rejected at a bar?
Oh God, yes. Hundreds of times.
Makes you stronger.
It does make you stronger.
But it's so weird. I'm so out of touch with the social media apps now, and the Tinder and Grindr and God, whatever else the things are. Like that's a lot of the way that people meet each other now and date, and like the idea of just like going to the bar and meeting someone. I don't know, that doesn't really happen that much anymore, does it?
It doesn't. You're absolutely right about that. I don't know if that's unfortunate. I was not a big bar goer. I think I was too big a prick to hang around in bars and drink alcohol.
You probably always wanted to brawl by the end of the night.
Yeah.
Pretty much true, yes. So I didn't do a lot of bar drinking. It's pretty much either at home or somebody else's house or those kind of deals. Plus the fact, buying good wine at a bar is incredibly expensive. That was the other part of it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's very true.
Because I like good wine, and man, you buy good wine at a bar, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So I guess I'm a cheap prick, too. What do you think?
Makes sense.
It's a possibility. But, you slog through life. You just keep slogging through life is all we can do. Right?
That's what we do. We slog.
We slog, Tom. Any other big news headlines in the world we should know about?
Yeah, actually, a really big thing. I don't know if you know anything about. You hear a lot about the gang crime in Minneapolis, North Minneapolis, South Minneapolis. I think the Strib had a story several years ago that, like, basically the crime they could narrow down to a certain number of blocks and a certain number of people, and it was kind of the same groups of people who were involved in a lot of it.
Yep.
They just announced a big arrest yesterday. Like dozens of members of two different street gangs were arrested, and they announced this yesterday. 45 different people who they say were involved in the gang activity. So obviously the law enforcement officials are pretty happy to have them off the streets. They're able to arrest them in some sort of different parameters, so it may be considered organized crime. So I think the implication is that they may spend more time in jail if they're found guilty. So I know we talk a lot about crime in Minneapolis, and I'm sure this is going to, people are going to be very happy that some progress has been made. But I mean, obviously we know there's a long ways to go yet, and that's not even talking about St. Paul yet either. So.
No, that's very true. What was the name of that sheriff? Tony Boza? Well, that was his name. Remember Tony Boza, the Hennepin County sheriff? I guess he was. Or maybe it was Minneapolis Police Chief. I think it was Minneapolis Police Chief, something like that. Had him on the show years and years ago, on the queue over there, probably 30 years ago. No, I grew up in North Minneapolis, right?
Yep.
So I'm talking to him about crime and criminals and gangs, and he goes, whoa, wait a minute, what do you mean? I said, why don't you talk about the gangs in my old neighborhood? I said, he goes, we don't have any gangs in Minnesota. I said, what? He goes, there aren't any crime. There are no gangs in Minnesota. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I'll come over and pick you up and we'll go for a drive. What do you say? He tried to convince me, and then he had Don Fraser convinced, too, that there were no gangs in Minneapolis.
Well, who was he trying to bullshit on that? I mean, or was he? It couldn't have been that clueless, right?
No, he was on the air, and I don't think he wanted to admit that crime was that gang crime was a huge problem in Minneapolis.
You know, I've been noticing with the new chief of police in Minneapolis, this O'Hara guy who they brought, came here from, I think, Newark. He's been really pushing back on some of the criminal justice decisions. We just had a story the other day about young people being arrested for like carjacking and all these kinds of things. He's like, we arrest them and they're back out on the street the next day. So he's kind of trying to deflect, like, listen, Minneapolis police can only do so much. And then the Hennepin County attorney, Mary Moriarty, she sort of was playing the other hand of it. And she goes, we don't have enough facilities to put these juvenile offenders in. Like, we can't hold them. So I don't know. I mean, you see a political game being played right now, too.
Yes.
And I know that this new chief's definitely like, listen, we can accept the responsibility that we can accept, but we can't. What can we do beyond arrest them, right?
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely right. You got to prosecute them now.
Yeah, Minneapolis police doesn't have a prison that it can throw people in. It doesn't work that way. So anyway.
I agree. Is there anything we're going to ever be able to do? Look, until we get around this, nobody gets along and everybody hates one another. I don't know what the hell we're going to do about this. This whole thing, I hate this person, I hate that person. I wouldn't waste my time hating anyone. I just wouldn't go around them, right?
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it, too, just culturally.
Yes.
If we're just, start being nicer to each other.
Who is that again? And I can't remember the name of the movie. I just hate you and I hate your ass face. Who was that again?
Ooh, I don't know. I've heard that many a times, not in a movie.
Rudy, I think we heard that the last time we were at Toby Keith's.
Yes, both of I heard that night, yes.
I just hate you and I hate your ass face. Damn it, I can't think of who said that. And I can't remember the movie it was in either. It was very funny. No question about it. So, anything else of great import?
There's a sports betting bill that is getting seeming to be very close, but they've only got like 3 weeks left to go in the session. And right now they're giving it like a 50-50 shot. So the sports betting would go to the Native American tribes, but the two horse racing tracks are fighting it. Canterbury and Running Aces is fighting it because the way it's set up right now, they would not get in on it. And so
aren't they having huge trouble out there at the racetrack now? This would be really helpful, wouldn't it?
There was something that was discussed yesterday that would create a fund to help the horse tracks offset any losses if they weren't able to offer sports betting.
Right.
So I think that it's still very questionable, and 3 weeks to go if they can come up with a compromise.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I go to Mystic Lake. I go to Treasure Island. I go to the racetrack once in a while, a couple times a year anyway. They're completely different. Why can't they bet at the horse track? They're not going to take any money away from the big casinos. It's a different kind of bettor.
Yeah, I don't quite get all the nuances of that. I'm not a sports bettor, but I mean,
me either.
There's everyone's scrapping for every last dollar, right? I guess that's what it all comes down to.
I suppose that's it. That we didn't make enough money. We need to make more.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I'm not a big gambler anyway. I never have been a big gambler. I was never, even when I was a kid. I played poker and stuff with my friends.
Yep.
But, that's not that big a deal. But I've never been a huge gambler. I like I said, I like going to Mystic Lake or Treasure Island, going up north, Great Bear up there, and all that stuff. I think it's a lot of fun doing that, but I just don't do it very often.
I lose $20 in a machine, and I'm depressed. I'm like, oh my God.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I go with a friend to Vegas every once in a while, and this guy's like, he's a baller, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, are you gonna gamble? I'm like, not like that. I mean, I like let's go to the penny machines. I'm like grandma. One nickel at a time.
There you go. All right. I know you got to go, so why don't we spin around the room? Let's go with yours first. Okay. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Bye.
Chris Egert, ladies and gentlemen. I was going to ask him the worst or best thing he's ever seen at a casino.
Ooh, you know, I've had many stories of casinos. Yeah, there was one time, kind of back in my early 20s, I had a giant beard growing. Huge beard.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I'm a man of facial hair.
I'm a man.
Yeah, I can definitely grow it.
I can't.
Really?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
It's. I mean, I look like, you know, a tiny. I look like Paul Bunyan Jr.
Do you really?
Yeah. Give me a red flannel and a blue ox, man. I'm a small Paul Bunyan.
I got nothing.
But we were on our way to the casino. It was like 11:30 at night. You know, we had been drinking, and we stopped by a gas station to buy a beef and bean burrito in a microwave. So we get to the casino. It's like 2 a.m. And I meet these girls, and we start chatting, and they're laughing. And then a friend of mine walks up, and then they walk away, and I go, "What was that all about?" And he's like, "Go in the bathroom." And I go in the bathroom, and I got like half a beef and cheese bean burrito stuck in my beard. I was like, well, that makes sense as to why those girls wanted to get a selfie with me. I was like, I had no idea why that happened. Yeah.
Now it's just quickly back to the beard thing. I cannot grow a beard it's like 5 different colors, and there are many clear patches.
Sure.
Like I can't grow hair on my face. I'm much further evolved than most people. Is that what you're thinking, Shannon?
Of course.
Yes, that's what it was. No, I nothing. I even a mustache. I had a Fu Manchu mustache for a while. It looked ridiculous. It's just, like I said, it's 5 different colors.
Sure.
And I wasn't going to start dyeing my mustache. No. So I just keep it off my... The pain in the ass is I can't grow a real beard, but I have to shave every damn day.
Yeah.
What is that? It's not fair. Is it?
Yeah, beards and guys are the same with women and hair. Like, guys who can't grow beards want beards. Guys who grow beards are like, gosh, I wish I could just stop shaving this thing every single day. Women with curly hair, like, I would kill for straight hair, and vice versa. Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose that's very, very true. Yeah, I just, I know you can go and there's a new deal, and I guess it's very expensive, but you can get all of the hairs taken off your face so it never grows again.
Oh, like laser hair removal?
Yeah, it's like I think it is the laser hair removal, I'm pretty sure, but it's not that big a deal to me. I get 5 minutes to shave. I'm not going to go laser my face for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you. I'm good to go. But in any case, I suppose we better take a break here. We'll be right back in a couple minutes. Show goes on right after this Tom Barnard Show.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Put your hands together and give a warm welcome to your dad.
Yeah, that's me. Let's do it. Luke and Obi-Wan walk into a Chinese restaurant. 10 minutes into the meal, Luke's still having trouble with the chopsticks, dropping food everywhere. Obi finally snaps. Use the forks, Luke. Hey, why couldn't Luke Skywalker find love? He was looking in Alderaan places. I saw a falcon eating avocado toast. It was a millennial falcon. Okay, what make of car do Jedi Masters love?
What?
Toyotas. What Jedi likes to sing Living on a Prayer?
What?
Bon Jovi Wan Kenobi.
Give it up for your dad.
So it's your dad telling jokes. See, I love those jokes were so lame, but I love your dad up telling jokes. That's the deal.
Yeah, I love the fact that being a comedian, that every time I'm at like a picnic or I'm out at a barbecue or something, there's always one guy that finds out, and he's like a friend's uncle, and then he pulls me off to the side. He's like, "Hey, I got one for your little skits.
Yeah.
I got one for your little skits.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
you feel free to use this one." I'm like, you were telling that joke in 1973. Like, first off, why would I ever use somebody else's material and a joke that is 20 years older than I am?
How are comedians doing right now, Rudy? Because you're working in the business, all the rest of it. Are people coming back to shows? Because we used to have every Thursday and Friday we'd have comedians in, because there were 3 different locations. You know, obviously the Mall of America, obviously Acme, and the other one was I can't remember.
Yeah, House of Comedy, Acme. Joke Joint. There was Joke Joint back in the day.
There you go. Yep, there you go. But
Yep.
Non-stop comedians, and now we haven't had one in a long time.
Yeah, well, the younger generation doesn't feel like they need to have radio or podcasts. They have their own thing. They have their social medias. They have this and that. I'm like, I don't think you guys realize how big of a reach the shows like we do have.
They do.
You know?
It's around the world, actually.
Yeah. The older comedians, the elder statesmen and women of comedy know that you need to go out. Like I've talked about this before. Tammy Pescatelli had sold out shows, and she's like, we're going to go get our asses up, and we're going to go do radio at 7 a.m. because the next time we come back, I want to make sure all of those shows are sold out, not just 3 out of the 5.
Agree.
And I'm like, I 1,000% agree with that. Yep.
Yep, it's very, very smart. So it's going to be great having comedians on again. I mean, we've had them on, don't get me wrong, but, I was just thinking about several people that I've known for years and years. They just don't come through town anymore. Are they going to start now more, do you think?
Yeah, I think, the Midwest is tough because we have such a big gap in between bigger cities.
Yeah, true.
Between Minneapolis, Madison, Chicago, where if you're on the East Coast, you're in Boston, New York is an hour 45. You can get to a spot in Philadelphia. Pittsburgh is not that far of a drive. Where we are, Minneapolis, and then the next morning you got to get up and drive 4 hours to Fargo. It's like, they don't want to do it.
What was the name of those guys again? Larry the Cable Guy and Ron White and, all those guys.
Blue Collar Comedy?
Blue Collar Comedy, exactly. Those guys came to town. This is, I don't know how many years ago, but first of all, I should tell people who are not in the area that Minneapolis-St. Paul is one of the greatest comedy markets in the United States. And now many people don't understand that, not as big audiences, I suppose, but we appreciate comedy here more in Minnesota than I think a lot of places do, right? So all those guys, when they had just done that movie that they did, the whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah, they had a couple of different ones, but I think I know which one you're talking about.
The one at the very beginning, where nobody even knew who the hell they were.
Sure.
Right? Well, those guys came to town one by one, and by the time, I believe, the last one came to town, all of them had booked at least 8 to 10 shows in Minneapolis-St. Paul. It just blew up. Ron White, he ended up buying his own jet from, I think, the movie, the money that he made just from coming to Twin Cities. Yeah, we got to get that going again because Minnesotans do support comedy, I think, better than anywhere else. Maybe New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. But yeah, do you still find that to be true?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Minneapolis is such a great market. You go to places and there's a lot of comics that want to get out of here and go places.
Yeah.
Trying to find somewhere that's not L.A. or New York, because I feel like Minneapolis is a great place to be able to cut your teeth.
Yeah.
And get very good. You're probably not going to make it here. You should probably leave here and go to a place, get good here, start to headline, then go to a place like a Denver or an Austin.
Yeah.
And then after especially like a Denver, you can really build up your chops, and they're just like Minneapolis, totally support comedy. And then after that, then go hit a LA or a New York. There's a lot of people who have the cojones to go, I'm just going to move to LA and start comedy. I'm like, you should probably have 7 years under your belt before you decide to make that journey, my man.
No, I think that's absolutely accurate. That's very, very true. You can't just run out there. They're just not going to have room for you.
No.
It's just not going to happen unless you know somebody you're never getting on stage. So, yeah, work your stuff out here, get it done. But we need more comedy, and particularly right now. And I think there's going to be, this is just my opinion, a huge surge of comedy coming after this hateful period we're in right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's disgusting the way that people just despise one another right now. I wouldn't give my energy to hate someone. There are people I don't like, but I can't tell you one person I absolutely hate because I'm not wasting my energy on it, right?
Yeah.
Settle down, for Christ's sake. Grow a pair, you know what I mean? Get off your ass, go out and get it done. But yeah, so it's good to hear that people are starting to circulate through and come back and all the rest of it. And I hope eventually we get back to those days when literally it was every Thursday and Friday there'd be somebody sitting in studio. I'm talking about big names too and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get back to that. That'd be, first of all, working in that environment is just fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I could never imagine the rest of my life not being a comedian.
It's all true, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I want to run down again because I don't think I got to all of them. The 2023 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees are... the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced that their class of 2023 yesterday. There were 13. See, we did not get to all 13, and that's why I wanted to get these on. In the performers category, we have Kate Bush, Cheryl Crow. Now, these are people who actually were announced. They won. They're not just nominated. They did win.
It's the class that's being inducted.
It is the class, but 13 of them. We have Kate Bush, we have Sheryl Crow, we have Missy Elliott, George Michael, Willie Nelson, Rage Against the Machine, and the Spinners. Chaka Khan is being recognized, but for the Musical Excellence Award. The same with Elton John collaborator Bernie Taupin and songwriter Al Cooper. God, I haven't seen that name in years. DJ Kool Herc. I thought that was your name.
You can call me that.
I can call you DJ Kool Herc?
Anytime.
Okay, thank you. Will receive the Musical Influence Award. He developed hip-hop music, which is celebrating its 50th anniversary. I thought it was Mike Gelfand that invented hip-hop. That's what I had always heard. Am I wrong about that? I thought for sure that Gelfand was the guy. Didn't you invent hip-hop?
No, I actually invented hip hurt.
It's still hurting to this day?
Always.
Always, ladies and gentlemen. See, this is very, very sweet. You got DJ Kool Herc, as we said, will receive the Musical Influence Award. He helped hip-hop. Guitarist Link Ray, that's going back a ways, also received the Musical Influence Award. Ahmet Ertegun Award will go to Soul Train creator Don Cornelius, who's no longer with us. I believe Don died, didn't he?
I believe he did, yes.
I think he did, yeah. The ceremony will take place November 3rd at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. So, and then they throw in, and they identify it as a stupid one-liner.
What?
I don't know what that means.
What is that?
A stupid one-liner. It says the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2023 was announced yesterday, and all I can say is better luck next year, flock of seagulls.
A little negative.
Oh, yeah.
Well, do you consider that to be a joke?
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm not going with that.
Well, you got to remember there's a writer's strike.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's right. I forgot the writer's strike is going on. Well, that started, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
And that's going to go on for quite some time, they said.
Probably. They strike every few years, don't they?
Yeah, they do. But I guess the money is just rolling in, so they want their cut of the money that's rolling in, I guess.
Yeah, well, they're pretty important. Like the late night shows, they could not exist without the writers.
Oh, God, no. There's no way. And a matter of fact, that goes all the way back to Sid Caesar.
Yeah, that's right.
He's talking about that very thing. It's like this show would be nothing without the writers. So.
Jackie Gleason,
another example. No, you're absolutely right. So we shall see. Anybody in there that you heard that you didn't want to see in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I mean, I don't really care.
Missy Elliott?
You didn't think she shouldn't have been in there?
No. You don't have the back catalog that some of these other, and especially when guys like Ozzy's not in there, Sammy Hagar is not in there, Boston's not in there, Bad Company's not in there. Like, there's some other people that we should probably be putting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Missy Elliott. Not that I don't like Missy Elliott. Obviously, we all know that Britt is a huge fan.
You're Egert.
Yeah. There she is.
But I'm saying that she probably just doesn't deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No, and you have every right to have that opinion because, as you said, many people haven't made it in yet. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand you're taking that position. I don't know much about Missy Elliott. She doesn't do rap, does she?
Yeah.
Oh, is it rap?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I've heard her name before, but I don't know her music at all. I got no idea what the hell I'm doing in that market. But I don't know. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I guess, the old show I know is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Did you know that?
What's that?
The KQ Morning Show is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah, when we were all on there. Oh, you didn't know that?
I got to get my Wikipedia page updated.
Yeah, you really do, man.
That's how I find out about my career.
You know, that's the thing. You got to look back on that show. We're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because of that show.
Uh-huh.
We're in the, what's the big, I can't think of the name of the Smithsonian. We're in there.
Oh, well, I don't know if you want to be in the Smithsonian.
You don't want to be in there? Because you have to be dead?
Well, it helps to be dead.
It does help to be dead. That's true.
It gives you a big advantage.
No, it's the November 11th thing. The audio from November 11th, they put that in the Smithsonian.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true. So, and look at the good it's done all of us. Look how it's improved our life to be in all these halls of fame.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if I can't monetize it, what difference does it make?
You should run for president. If I can't monetize it, why would I bother to do it?
Exactly. I get this from my political leaders who are such great role models.
Oh, my God. We were just talking about that before the show. We're not spending a lot of time talking politics and all the rest of it, but This must be one of the worst crowds of all time. I'm sorry, but it's just, oh my God. They don't even cover up the money grubbing anymore.
No.
And I'm talking about from a city to a state to a federal level. They don't even try to hide their greed anymore.
They do not. You're right.
Okay, I have to issue a warning to you and Judd. Both of you are being warned. Do not bring up the Inns toy to me today. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, you got a 3-game lead.
Oh, my God. How do you lose to the Chicago White Sox 2 days in a row?
Well,
Judd, this is your fault. I'm blaming you.
How is it my fault? How am I responsible for this?
How am I? That game last night was horrible.
You know, I went this morning and did a little numbers crunching on your guy, Griffin Jack's, Tom Bernard.
Oh.
I know that we were exchanging texts last night about the struggling reliever. First 9 games of this season, 8 1/3 innings, 2 earned runs, which is a 2.16, very respectable ERA.
Sure.
The last 6 games, 5 2/3 innings, 4 earned runs, a not so respectable 6.35 ERA.
6.35, and you put him in a game that's on the line.
hey, it's May. It's time for the bullpen to collapse.
Well, that's very good. That's a good argument.
It used to take until like July.
It did, but now it's May.
Where's Ron Davis, you guys? That's the only question. Where's RD to come in and really blow this thing up?
RD did pulled one of the best tricks on me ever. That prick. No, yeah, he wasn't a prick. He was a very nice guy, but I was doing batting practice with the Twins this is like 30 years ago, something like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe even longer than that.
That's a death wish.
That was a death wish. But Ron Davis threw some pitches to me, and he threw a pitch that was coming right at my head, and it was moving, so I literally bailed out. Pitch ended up about 3 feet outside. God, that thing broke. It would have never come anywhere near me had I just stood there.
You know, now they have the sweepers. That sounds like the sweeper.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what it was.
Used to be a slider, but now it's a sweeper.
Why is it a sweeper now?
Because pitchers, it's one of the many pitches that pitchers have now mutated.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's one reason why there's so many pitchers, I think, even more than ever, being injured now. You know, they throw the ball 100 miles an hour, but they also do all these funky things, which take a terrible toll on their shoulder and their, you know, and their like wrist and their elbow. So I mean, this is we're just seeing the very start of it now.
I suppose. Do you think? Well, Judd and Mike, I'm asking everybody here, as a matter of fact, what their opinion of this is. I always call him Rocco Altabelli. I know that's not his name.
I do too.
I always call him.
Yeah, I like it.
Rocco Altabelli used to be a hair cutter.
Yes.
In the Twin Cities.
That's right.
Rocco, what the hell is Baldelli? Isn't it Rocco Baldelli?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How much longer can we go with him placing this very lame middle bullpen? And maybe he doesn't have any choices, but can you start blaming some of this on him?
I think you can blame some, but again, the thing about this now is it is such a, and I hate this word at times, it's good at times too, but collaborative, right? Like they sit down and talk about who's going to pitch, and at times it sounds like they've talked about, you know, is our goal to get 5 or 6. So, but I do think that you have to improve this portion of the bullpen because the starters are so damn good. It's not fair, or that they have been. It's only May, but they have been so far. And the back of the bullpen, you know, to close games out is good. But Griffin Jacks and Pagan, I mean, it just feels like they need something else. As for the sweeper stretch, can we quit inventing new words for pitches? Like baseball, this is the Harvard, this is what's happened. The analytics, you know, and all of that. These people, they're desperately trying to put their mark, you know. It's the sweeper. Bleep off.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's these MIT dropouts who are sitting in someone's basement coming up with new analytics, which are nothing more than just a twist on things we've already known for decades, but they put different words on it, and then it becomes important. But I don't know. I mean, I guess there must be an analytics hall of fame for these people. But you're right. It's tiresome. And of course, the thing is, the announcers, they look on. They've got their app there. So if the app says sweeper, they say it's a sweeper.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about Grandpa. Grandpa Bremer.
Grandpa Bremer. That's a first for me right there.
Grandpa Bremer doesn't even bother to look at the screen to see the view from center field. So he'll say, and it's an outside fastball for ball 2. Usually if he says it's an outside fastball, it's an inside curveball.
Why is that?
Because he's sitting 300 feet over home plate, and he refuses to look at the angle that we all see.
That's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
That probably is true. He's such a nice guy. You like Dick, don't you?
I don't know him, but that's why I
Wait
call
a
him
minute, that didn't sound good. You like Dick, don't you, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That came out wrong.
It really did,
How long
yes.
do you think we'd hear that one in the old days?
That's going to be played. So, Rudy, you wouldn't do that to Mike, would you? And he has a giant penis. Oh, so he goes after me. Thank you very much. Great to see all of you. That's all I have to say.
Oh.
So I don't know. I love the Twins. They still have that 3-game lead, so they held on to that lead last night.
Only division that they could be in first place.
Oh, you got that right.
And there's nobody else in the division who's close to 500.
No, they're terrible.
Yeah, it's an awful division.
We should be about
Cleveland
10
lost
games
again, yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland lost again. The Guardians are nowhere near.
Yeah,
as good
they
as were
lost
last
in 10 innings to the Yankees.
I don't like that second base thing, Mike. I just don't like. Let's play baseball. You don't give them second base in the 10th inning.
Yeah, I think it served its purpose, and now we can go back to baseball.
That would be good. I would like that a lot, as a matter of fact. I was trying to explain, because Catherine brought it up, trying to explain to a couple of members of my family why the bases are bigger now than they used to be. And they make it easier, even though it's I think a 5 or 6 inch difference, 3 inches on both ends. I guess the speed of players now is to the point that they can almost all steal a base now.
Well, especially because the pitcher can't throw over there more
than twice. Yep.
More than twice, but really that means more than once.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you throw the second time, then they're going to steal after that.
Yeah, they're going to take off. Yes.
So you got one shot.
No, you do. You're absolutely right about that. Do you like the fact that the bases are bigger now?
I don't. I mean, I don't see much difference there. I don't know. What about you, Judd?
I don't mind it, but as we talked about on Wednesday, Tom, could the Twins please steal bases now, because everybody else has started stealing bases?
All of a sudden, Buxton stole a base the other day. He's obviously second because he's never stolen third. Was it yesterday he stole second?
I think he might have a couple stolen bases now, and he didn't have one until Tuesday. But
yeah,
it's okay now. It feels like it's has been. Teams have been given the green light to actually bunt again too.
Yeah.
To advance guys. People aren't going nuts now. We actually see. I like that stuff. You know why? Because when the ball's in play, it's just more fun.
Yeah. Well, that was what the major leagues wanted to do anyway, was get the ball and play more. But it's going to be tough when typically you have like 17 strikeouts in a game. I think that's about the average. So, that's when you got 17 strikeouts in a game, it's going to be a very boring game.
Yeah, and we somehow became in love with, and I'm not quite sure why, we became in love with the notion that if you hit, 5 home runs a game, that's great baseball.
Yeah.
Home runs are fine, but I'm not sure about you. I've never thought that home runs were like the be-all, end-all of the sport. Like, if we don't have a bunch of home runs, it's boring because, the strikeouts are absolutely, to me, had gotten ridiculous. And what becomes fun after a while about seeing, Ryan Jeffers strike out for the 3rd time in a game?
Yeah, and the home run thing it became too much of a good thing. Because the reason that home runs used to be so exciting is because they were not that typical. We didn't, but now you've got the what they call the 3 outcomes.
The 3 true outcomes. That's a great one.
Yeah. So you strike out, you hit a home run. Let's see, what's the 3rd again?
It's strikeout, home run, and I forget the 3rd.
I think
I don't even care. It's one of the dumbest things I've heard. Less strikeout stretch.
You get canceled by kicking the ref in the nuts.
Yeah, I was going to say hit by pitch in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty exciting one too. Yeah, it's and that's. But Rudy brings out a good point because sports are becoming, even basketball now. I'm watching basketball. It's the playoffs finally, and that sport is becoming so violent that it's probably worse than football because players are not wearing anything to protect themselves. So a player, we saw this last week, Draymond Green. He's lying on the ground next to an opponent, gets up, and he stomps on the guy's chest. And he's suspended for 1 day, and then Draymond Green, who, by the way, is clinically insane.
Sure.
I mean, you've seen the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's out of his head. And he should have been ejected. He should have been suspended for weeks and weeks. He was ejected, but then the whole team complained. How could they eject him just for stomping on a man's chest?
Well, they tried to claim that the guy from the Kings had held his foot, and so that should be licensed to stomp on a man's chest, which I still think is a little bit flawed. By the way, the 3 true outcomes: home run, a walk,
I was going to say walk.
Or
yeah.
a strikeout.
The reason I didn't say walk because it seemed so It just seems so I guess unimportant. But that's it, and that is not exciting. That game is not exciting.
Correct.
So hopefully they'll start putting the ball in play a little more. But we talked about this, a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think they got to move the mound back because pitchers are going to just keep throwing the ball more than 100 miles an hour. It used to be, will anyone ever throw the ball 100 miles an hour? Now it's like, will anyone ever throw the ball 110 miles an hour?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're right about that, man. How the hell can you hit a ball moving that fast?
I have no idea.
I think the thing, though, is these guys are so good that if it's moving fast, like a fastball, straight line, right? I think these guys can hit it. The issue is when they can move it, when they can now sweep it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But I saw a quote once. I think it was Eddie Matthews of the Braves years ago had a quote that if a pitcher stands on the mound and shoots a bullet, I can hit the bullet if it doesn't move. Eventually I can time the bullet.
Yeah.
But what you can't do is if it's a curveball and now it starts to move a bit and you're not expecting it, that becomes the problem. So if the mound goes back, Mike, do we have more pitchers' injuries, arm problems, or do we have less, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because their response might be to try to throw it harder, try to sweep the ball more sweepier. But you know what? That's their problem because the game is made for customers. So from our vantage point, we just want to see the ball put in play. You know what? It's an interesting Eddie Matthews approach, and of course I'm old enough to, and I know Tom, you've seen him, you saw him play a fair amount.
Absolutely.
For Milwaukee, and but the thing about that is, if that's true, then Eddie Matthews or someone who has that same talent should be in Chicago right now, giving out bats to gang members.
Yeah, it really should. I mean, why not?
Cut down on a lot of deaths there. Or you can take the Jose Miranda approach, which is that you just swing at every pitch that's 2 feet above you and not swing at any pitch that's right down the middle of the plate.
You've been going after him for a while. I love that.
Well, he can't play third base.
No.
And he doesn't know what to do with the ball when he gets it. He has a hitch in his swing. And this is a guy who'd be very lucky to hit 210 when the season's over.
You know, it's interesting. I brought this up to Judd, I think, last week or early this week. I can't remember. But I just, there are a lot of these guys now dropping baseballs. I understand that the ball's got a lot of spin on already. There have been a lot of drop balls across baseball this season. I don't understand. Why would that be?
Cold to a certain point so far?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
By the way, did you guys see what the Tampa Bay Rays shortstop did last night?
No.
So I think they're playing the Pirates. I don't know who the runner was, but the guy who hit the ball to shortstop was clearly not fast. And I think his name is Wander Franco, who's nice young player for the Rays.
Yep.
He decided he fielded the ball, and then he flipped it up in the air, caught the ball, and then threw to first.
Really?
Little flair.
So he basically did a touchdown celebration with a ground ball before throwing out the guy at first base. And now the baseball purists are up in arms this morning.
Really?
Yes, they're very upset.
Oh, come on. Yeah, because that's baseball. And, you know, the old expression, you know, there's no crying in baseball. The expression should be there's no entertaining in baseball.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's how boring the game is when a guy flips a ball and they're like, stop having fun. Stop it.
Well,
Go
you
to
guys
your
have
room.
been around it. Mike and Tom, my God, I mean, going back, there was how many things in the 70s into the 80s were sacrilege against baseball. You know, if you dared to do this or dared to, a bat flip.
Sure.
A bat flip was the end of the world.
And then we have the unwritten rules.
Yes.
Which the Twins are very fond of.
Unwritten rules?
Unwritten rules, yeah.
Like number one being?
Well, like for example, if you are ahead by 6 runs, you can't bunt.
You can't?
No. Mm-mm.
No, why not?
It's an unwritten rule.
Okay.
It's true. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
It goes back. Remember Pete Rose when he had his what did he have, like a 42 game streak when he hit the ball, when he got hits in 42 straight games, and then it ended when he struck out on a curveball, and he complained bitterly. He said, "That's just awful to throw me a curveball when I've got a streak." A real man would have thrown me a fastball.
There you go. You're not a real man because you threw me a curveball.
Yeah.
Gene Garber had the audacity to throw him a curveball. I remember that because he was all pissed. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, well, we got to take a quick break here. Be right back in just a couple minutes. Tom Barnard Show.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live at TomBarnardShow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
Tom Barnard here. You might not know this about me and about my family, but we're kind of Nissan strong. I say that because I own a Nissan Altima from Walser Nissan, and I love it. My son Andy owns a Nissan Rogue Sport from Walser Nissan, and my daughter-in-law Melissa, yeah, you guessed it, drives a Nissan Kicks and carts grandson Ethan safely around town, also purchased at Walser Nissan. You want to know who else is Nissan strong in the Twin Cities? Walser Nissan and their trifecta of stores. Down south, GM Dan Resch at Walser Nissan in Burnsville. West of the metro, just off Highway 12 and Wayzata Boulevard, is Casey Novotny's Walser Nissan Wayzata. And in Coon Rapids, north side of Highway 10 and Round Lake Boulevard, Jay Buck runs the show at his Nissan store. This month, you can test drive the all-new affordable Nissan Aria, all-new electric crossover SUV at all 3 Nissan stores. When you do, don't forget to let them know the Tom Barnard family sent you. Nissan strong and loyal like me and my family. Even if you're just Nissan curious, go to Walser.com and select the Walser Nissan store nearest you.
What can Hubbard Interactive do for your business? Let's take a listen and find out what they did for one local company, Steve the Window Guy.
I'm Sally, and I'm a digital brand strategist here at Hubbard Interactive. We met with Melissa from Steve the Window Guy, and she was looking for help with their video advertising strategy. So we helped build a comprehensive plan for streaming TV and YouTube ads.
And Melissa, tell us how it's been getting your message out with help from Hubbard Interactive.
I've been working with them for 5 years, and what I've learned is that they have both the experience and the depth inside their team to help me solve any creative marketing challenge that I've got. So over the years, I've moved from radio ads to streaming TV to YouTube ads, and now we're moving towards SEO. And I'm loving the results that I'm seeing.
Is there anything else you want business owners out there to know about Hubbard Interactive?
I am so grateful for the entire team at Hubbard Interactive for effortlessly understanding our business and our marketing vision, and then always delivering only the best results.
To find out how our experts can help your business grow, get in touch today at HubbardInteractive.com.
All right, Judd. So guys like myself get a little longer in the tooth. We get up there, get that spare tire around the midsection. A lot of us just leave it, but you did something about it. What was that?
That's right. I went to my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers for help there because you know what? I realized that the battle against the bulge was more than I could handle myself. And what they've done too, So more than a year ago now, I dropped 40 pounds, but the most important thing is they have helped me keep that weight off, and that's the most important thing. We're talking about weight control here. We're talking about a program that works personalized and guided support from their team of experts. So get summer ready right now, and have they got a deal for you? 3 months for free. That's right, the first 3 months for free. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livea, LIVEA.com. That is the start of your journey towards weight loss and feeling and looking great for summer.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, 9:22 now, 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. It's going to be a beautiful day today, 72 degrees. You know, sunny and 72. It's already sunny and 60.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
There's no gale out there today.
No gale. We like the no gale. I just want to take a very quick break from sports because I just saw a headline in the Star Tribune that I couldn't agree with more. Neil Justin, whom I've known for several years, written some very negative articles about me, some very positive art. Neil tends to be very honest, I think. You know, he has his beliefs and he has his views. So I've always gotten along with Neil. You know, like I said, he attacked me when I deserved it. Let me put it that way. What do you think?
I didn't know you ever deserved it, but
I didn't either. But I just thought
this is a new sort of masochism we're experiencing.
Maybe that's what it is. But he wrote an article today, and I just wanted to bring this article up because I have never understood, and Rudy, you're going to have to be a big part of this.
Sure.
I have never, ever understood why anyone thinks Pete Davidson is funny.
I agree.
He's not funny at all.
Not funny. He's got obviously the BDE, Shannon. You got a look on your face, Shannon. Where you're like, yeah. Now you're a fan, obviously, right?
Are you a fan?
Yeah, I like Pete Davidson.
Do you?
What is it about him?
I don't know. He's kind of self-deprecating.
He is?
Yeah.
Well, he's got a lot to deprecate.
Yeah, there you go.
Fair.
I know because I identify with that.
There's an article by Neil Justin in this morning Star Tribune. What's so funny about Pete Davidson? You scroll all the way. He talks about it all the way at the bottom. It says, overall Bupkis, which is his new TV show, apparently. Pete Davidson talking about his life or whatever.
You know, and that's just appropriating my people's ethnicity.
He's Jewing it up?
That's a Yiddish word.
Oh, Bupkis, absolutely it is. No,
How dare he do that, Mike? How dare he do that?
Exactly. Well, look, we're getting used to it. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, like the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, where 80% of the cast is not only non-Jewish, but like a lot of them are Arabs, you know.
No, Mike,
now,
you're
that's
making
going
that
too
up.
far.
It really is going too far. But I used to remember as a little kid, kid, you don't know Bupkis. I used to hear that all the time.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, definitely. But overall, Bupkis reminded me of Davidson's 6 years on SNL. He never created a memorable character during that tour of duty, but got a lot of mileage out of Weekend Update commentaries, in which he reflected on his tabloid exploits and shortcomings. He was obsessed with admitting that he hasn't lived up to his potential. Fans may find that brand of sheepish humor enlightening, even sexy. I find it annoying. So Neil Justin, not exactly a fan. And it's got one comment so far. There's only one comment so far.
They must have just posted it, huh?
I think they just posted it. Prowler reports, never been anything funny about Pete Davidson. So I'm glad to at least know two people who agree. I just don't get why anyone thinks he's funny.
Well, Pete
I
Davidson.
think younger people like him.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think he is somewhat, and I'm not comparing these two at all, but I think he is somewhat till the 2020s what Sandler was to the 90s. I think there were a lot of people who probably were like, what's funny about this guy? But I think it's the shtick. And the other thing that Pete Davidson is a genius at is keeping his name in the gossip columns.
Yeah.
People love that stuff. I mean, you guys, Paris Hilton, for how long? Like a 10-year period, Paris Hilton was a big deal because she was a part of the Hilton family and because she was partying every night. So I think what young people like at a certain time isn't necessarily what we think is worth a damn.
Well, Pete Davidson should just do what Paris Hilton did to become famous, right? Just, do a porn film and then just make sure it gets on the internet. I think that's how her career started.
It is how it started.
Yeah. So, but I also think that Pete Davidson and Paris Hilton were a thing for like
were they really?
36 hours or something.
I didn't know that.
How he lasted 36 hours, I don't know.
Isn't he packing major heat? That's what somebody
the story,
said.
Yeah.
That's the story. That's the rumor.
Yeah.
Well, I can honestly say, not firsthand, but secondhand, a good friend of mine dated him for a few years in New York. And I said, and of course he always downplays it, like, it's not as big as what people say it is. And she's like, oh, trust me, it's bigger than what he says it is, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, packing heat.
Rudy with the scoop.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
The dick scoop. Yeah, there you go.
So he's as big but not as funny as Milton Berle.
Oh, that's exactly right.
Totally right, yes.
Remember that, Milton Berle's great line about that?
What was that?
One of the greatest lines. He goes on the Johnny Carson show when it was live back in the days. And he goes on, and Johnny finally, he said Ed McMahon tried to talk him out of it, but he finally said, Milton, I'm going to have to ask you to do something for me right here on camera. I've always heard you have a very large penis, and I'd like you to show it to everyone. Because I bet you it's nowhere near as big as we hear that it is. I mean, we've heard that it's over a foot long, and I just cannot believe that.
Wow.
And Milton Berle said, well, I'll tell you what, you called me out on this, but I'm telling you something, I'm only taking out enough to win.
It's funny. It's a good joke.
What a great line. You ain't going to see it all, pal, just enough. Yeah, I don't know. And look, you like who you like, and I'm not saying if you think Pete Davidson is funny that you're an idiot. That's not what I'm saying. I just don't get it. I've never understood why anyone thinks this man is funny or interesting in the least.
I will say his very emotional, heartfelt stuff is very interesting. Because if you don't know his backstory,
I don't see that.
His dad died in 9/11.
Right, he did. He's a firefighter, right?
And he did a movie called The King of Long Island. It stars Bill Burr, who destroys in that movie. He's so good in it. But it tells the backstory about losing his dad. And in it, when he gets to the real emotional parts, you're like, oh, I see why you have all the tattoos and you have the insecurities that you do.
Really?
Because that was a tough upbringing, losing your dad. When he gets...
You and I did. What the hell's the difference?
Yeah, but I think once he kind of gets past that young age and he gets into like his upper 30s and 40s, I think if we can see the real Pete Davidson and not this facade of, who he wants people to think that he is, I think he'll be funny then.
Who was the last funny person on Saturday Night Live?
Bill Hader.
It's been a while.
I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Cecily Strong.
Yeah.
I don't know her.
She's
very funny.
She's very good. She's the non-Kate McKinnon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon.
She just left, right?
Yeah, she
Strong.
just left. Yeah, so we won't be able to see her mugging and trying to steal every scene from now on.
Well, there is that. And shoving her politics down your throat. Well, she did. There's no question. She sat and played the piano and wept. I'm like, settle down.
I know. After we talked about Pete Davidson, then you're talking about shoving something down people's throats.
I stepped out of line, Mike. I'm sorry.
I think so, yeah.
You're right. I was way out of line.
You do have to admit the Kate McKinnon alien bits when the FBI is talking to them and they're talking about like, oh no, I had a great time with the aliens. The aliens served us tea and they asked about my life. And Kate McKinnon's like, I had probes coming in and every hole in my body. Those were some of the best bits that SNL has done in the last probably 5 years.
Well, it's not that she's not talented. It's just that she just wants every scene to be hers, and it just gets to be tiresome. Maybe, I was never any good, but I did go through a period where I did stage comedy, and, I did that kind of skit comedy.
Right.
And I know what it's like to be on stage with someone who just steals everything, just sucks everything out of you, and I hate that.
I understand that completely. What I like about this is different generations, different viewpoints, different upbringings, all the rest of it. Now, tell us, Shannon, why do you think he's funny? I mean, you're a lot younger than the rest of us.
I don't think, I've seen his stand-up, and I don't really think it's particularly funny. I just like his personality, kind of.
Oh, you do?
And I did like The King of Staten Island, too.
So you didn't think he's funny? You just think
I
he's
didn't think his
interesting.
stand-up was that great, but...
His stand-up's terrible, actually.
Yeah.
And he lost his mind at the Varsity Theater here in Minneapolis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, turned on the crowd, screamed.
Why?
Oh, yeah. Because, I don't know, because they weren't digging him. Yeah, oh, yeah. No, that was...
when was this?
3 years ago, maybe? Wow. Yeah, this was right before him starting to date Kim Kardashian.
God.
Yeah.
That's how
What a world.
That's how you figure out like when he did something,
Who he was dating.
who he was having sex with.
I don't know. God, like I said, I'm not telling you if you think he's funny, you're an idiot. If you think he's funny, good for you. I'm happy for you. I just don't understand. I just have not thought Saturday Night Live. Like I said, the Coneheads was the first for me. Goodbye.
Yeah.
That was the lamest bit I have ever seen in my entire life, and it kind of drove me away from Saturday Night Live.
Well, the show always was pretty good if it had one or two bits that were really funny.
Yeah, it was.
And that's why everything was stacked from the start to the finish. So
Yeah,
the
it
first
was.
two things were usually the funniest, and then it went downhill after that.
Were they ever going to get past the Aykroyds and Belushis of the world, though? Are they ever going to compare to those people?
Yeah, it's tough, especially with Belushi.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to top that.
Yeah,
It created expectations that they couldn't really match again.
What I love is you got Dan Aykroyd producing all these things, starring in all these things, and his whole family has this. Don't they have this like psychic alien network or something they set up?
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why he named his vodka. Like, isn't his vodka? It's a big alien head.
I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mhm,
I think that's right.
Really?
Yeah. His family's huge into that alien psychic deal.
Oh, that's too bad.
Why did the first cast leave at the same time? Is the one thing I haven't read about, and I still don't know. Like almost everyone from that first cast, which was obviously brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
If you recall, they literally were replaced, or they just all left instead of a couple people here and there. I've never gotten that because that was such a harsh transition from that group, which was just fabulous, to and I mean, it's not that the second group was terrible, but it was not the same. It was not even close.
Yeah.
No, that's basically true.
And it's also true, I think, that although they were often very funny, they were never the funniest skit comedy show on TV.
Oh God, no! The Bees was the lamest thing I've ever seen. What was it called again? It wasn't just the Bees. What was it called?
I don't know.
When John Belushi dressed up as a bumblebee.
Yeah.
In the big bee suit.
Yeah. Yep.
But I mean, you go back and you look at great comedy actors and actresses. They don't call them actresses anymore. Everybody's an actor.
Everybody's an actor.
But you look back to say John Candy.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
SCTV, Mike.
SCTV.
That time, unbelievable.
Loved it.
Yeah, and so they had John Candy. Saturday Night Live had Farley. Okay.
Yes.
Farley was funny.
He was. Yeah.
Candy just knocked it out of the park.
He was amazing. And you know what? Eugene Levy.
Levy is what I was going to say next. Yeah.
Mel's Rock Pile.
Yeah.
I just love Mel's Rock Pile.
Joe Flaherty.
Yeah, Flaherty.
The Count. Candy doing the 3D House of Pancakes.
Phenomenal.
Do you want some more pancakes? And he would take them and put them towards the camera like it was 3D. The stuff that they did was still, I mean, to this day, it would be great.
Fantastic.
Did you ever hear the story about why he decided to get into, become a full-time actor, John Candy?
No.
He was working at an appliance store, and he sold a toaster to a guy, and then the guy returned the toaster, and John didn't try to resell him a toaster, and the guy who owned the store was angry at John for not being a good sales guy. And as he was yelling at him, he said, "You know what? I should have known better than to hire an actor." And John Candy goes, "What?" He goes, "An actor. I should have never hired an actor." And John's like, Did you just call me an actor?" He's like, "Well, that's what you are, aren't you?" And John's like, "Yeah. Why am I here? Oh my God, you're so right." And he left the store, and the rest is history. Yeah.
God, what was the name of that scary show on there again? I know you had Count Floyd, but there was also the kids, a real scary
movie. I can picture
movie.
the makeup, the black makeup. Sure. Yeah.
God, that show was hilarious.
Yeah. How about the Bob Hope golf tournament?
The Bob Hope. Tell them about it, Mike.
I just remember, who was it who did Bob Hope? Was it Flaherty who did Bob Hope?
I think it was. I think you're right about that.
Whoever it was, he had Bob Hope down perfectly.
Just hilarious.
And that was half of it. But the other thing is, of course, Bob Hope was someone who always desperately needed to be mocked.
Yeah, that's true.
But he rarely was. I interviewed, this is a digression. When I was 18, I interviewed Bob Hope. And so I started saying things to him like, well, Bob, on those shows you do overseas with the troops, how much money do you make per show?
Oh, he didn't like that.
And so eventually he called me a communist.
Yes, of course he did.
Which
he was right about
well,
that.
Absolutely.
It's a given.
And it, of course, that made the peace, right? So it was like.
You were 18 and basically challenged Bob Hope. I love this.
Oh
story.
yeah. I said, how much
Good
money
for
are you
you.
making? And he said, I know where questions like that come from. I said, what do you mean? He said, I said, no, I really have no idea. And he said, you're just, you're kind of anti. And I said, well, anti what? And it went on like that. God, was he frustrated.
Remember what he did on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson? Came out and sat in the chair, and he says to Carson, Johnny, there's this big story going around that I'm worth $500 million, and went home last night, and my wife was looking through the couch cushions. What? Is that your big joke for the night, is it?
Well, you know that just before he went on, he called 14 writers. I need something for Carson tonight.
Yeah, probably true. But why would you ever say, the rumor has it that I'm worth $500 million? Why would you even say that? People are going to like you better because you have $500 million bucks?
Well, I guess he was just setting up the joke.
But nowadays, by the way, that $500 million would be about $5 billion.
Right.
Because that was a long time
Oh, he'd
ago.
be a billionaire today.
Oh, he absolutely would.
Yeah.
Whoever bought that saddle house that he had in Palm Springs?
Oh, the one that just hangs like right over the mountain?
Yeah, it looks like a saddle.
Yeah,
kinda.
yeah.
I wonder who ended up buying that house. That house was hideous.
Yeah, I don't even know how you'd get to it.
Yeah, you're right, because it was not easy to get to. But everybody had to know that was Bob Hope's
sure,
house.
yeah, he made sure.
He did. He made sure you knew that's his house. I know for sure. Yeah, he seemed like a real dick, but I guess Bing Crosby was a bigger prick than he was.
Yeah, the Bing stories are incredible.
Oh,
when you read
what a
those.
horrible what a horrible person. Well, who the hell? I think it was David Letterman that interviewed one of his sons, one of Bing Crosby's sons. It was like Hank Crosby or something like that. I don't remember his name. Doesn't matter. But you could tell by looking at the young Bing Crosby son, he'd been rode hard and put away wet, baby. And they sat and drank the whole time. He was drinking on camera, and died just a few months later. But I think it was David Letterman, or maybe it was somebody else was interviewing him. And he said, well, how do you get by suffering so mightily? Because he hated his father. Said his father beat him constantly, treated him like dirt. He would embarrass him humiliate him in front of other people on purpose. He said, after all that stuff, I think about it, and I got to be honest with you, David. You got to believe in something, and I believe I'll have another drink. Oh, man. I almost wept for Christ's sake. It's like, Jesus.
Well, it's
a little hard to take.
It's obviously not easy to be the son of a huge celebrity. Although Andy turned out just fine.
Andy Dick?
No, your son.
Oh, yeah, my son. Yeah. Huge celebrity, yes.
Twin City celebrity for sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Don't you have to go away now?
Right. Come on, it's just getting fun. I was piling on. What do you mean?
He's piling on. Hey, it works for me. That works. No question about it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of people. I can't believe how much money I have. Well, good for you. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. That whole generation was a different kettle of fish, though. You go from all those, one to another, all those people.
I'll tell you how poor I am. I have $4 in my pocket. And the reason I say I'm poor is because if I was rich, I wouldn't have any money in my pocket.
That's true. Yeah. Why would you ever carry money with you?
Right. Yeah, how dare you carry money? No currency, Mike.
It's just a habit,
I want to ask you that, guys, just because I've been told my whole life, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it certainly might be true, that there are certain credit card companies that have a very special credit card that obviously has a very low interest rate and a very high, like unlimited level that you can use, and you have to have a certain amount of money to get one of these. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, Amex has a black card.
Yeah, they have a black card. Yeah, I've known a few people that had a black card. And that's unlimited and all the rest of it too, right?
It is, yeah.
This one, I guess, is, I don't know who puts it out or whatever, but I guess you have to be like a very, very, very wealthy person to even have one of these.
So would it be, I'm a liberal, of course, so I'm going to be chastised by my friends.
Wait a minute. After all these years, I discovered you're a liberal?
I'm coming out of the closet now. But I was going to say, does Mexico have a green card?
Oh, I wonder if they do, because
But
you
I
never
think-
see them at the air.
I probably that could be a career ender for me.
What's wrong if they have a green card in Mexico? There's a black card in America and a
I
green
don't know.
card in
I
Mexico.
I worry about these things.
So how are we doing? What do you got, about 12, 13 million coming across now? How are we doing? How are we going to pay for that?
Well, how do we pay for anything?
That's what I'm saying. We can't pay for anything. It's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, get yourself one of them black Amex cards. There's no limit.
Yeah, that's right. Just here.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Do we really care though? I've always
About what?
we always talk about the debt, right, and all that. It doesn't feel like we really care about it.
Well,
we talk about it.
The problem we have with that by not caring about it is they use it against us at times, like they did in 2008. That's exactly what happened. All the hedge fund people, their stuff came crashing down, and no, we're not going to dump that on you. We're going to dump it on the citizens.
Yeah, that's true.
That's exactly what they do, and
Well,
I hope it doesn't happen again.
They're never going to balance the budget.
No.
And there's a lot of reasons. One of them is that we'll always create stupid wars.
Yes.
And they're very expensive. And the other one is, because of the way that our politics work, we're never going to be able to tax the richest people in corporations.
Never going to happen. No, you're absolutely right. They don't pay any taxes.
No.
They don't have. They got nice write-offs apparently.
Oh, they know how to do it.
And every damn one of our politicians in this country backs them up 100%. I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican. They're all kissing ass like there's no tomorrow because they get a piece of the pie.
Yeah, because they need a lot of money to run for office.
Yeah, they
But
do.
even when they're even the ones who have solid seats who can never be defeated, even they have to accumulate hundreds of millions.
Yeah,
of
they
dollars.
do. No, you're absolutely right. There's no question about that.
I don't know if it's just a habit or they just like the thought of it. But you got half. I would say at least half the people in the House of Representatives never have to spend a penny.
Oh no, God no, not at all. They just keep stacking up the dollars on the day they retire, and they're good to go. You look back. Instead of getting to radio, why didn't we get into politics? If we can bullshit at such a high level, why didn't we get into politics? That would have been smart.
Because at the time, for a long time, it seemed, I think, like it took a certain skill set, right? Like it's changed now. Now it's like, holy cow, I could do that. I think at one time it seemed like it would be hard work. Now it's like, well, it's some hard work, but you know what? It really pays off if you do it right, because you're right about that. Like, I mean, if you get yourself in what I guess they would probably call the inner sanctum, oh boy. Turn that faucet on, baby.
Oh,
a lot of
it's
money
true.
to be had. You're right.
Lots of money to be made.
Hey, and the only time you really could get more money out of the public, more money from billionaires would be to be on the Supreme Court.
That's well. That would
be tough work,
he's
though, Mike.
living the life, isn't he?
That's tough work, though, Mike. I can't do that one.
What's that?
That's tough.
Yeah.
Like that takes a ton of going to school, education, going up the ranks. Too much work for me right there.
Yeah.
Have we ever been in a situation where the current president and the former president were both being investigated for felonies? Has that ever happened before? Maybe it has. I guess. Does anybody know? One's a Republican, one's a Democrat.
I thought it was just the current president's son who was being investigated.
Oh, no, they're investigating him now. They found some documents that prove he set up some money-making scam. Now, why do you never want to believe when it's about a Democrat? Why is that?
Quack, quack.
They're just as filthy as the Republicans.
Well,
They just are.
I just, reading conventional newspapers, I have not gotten that impression. What the impression I've gotten is that the Republicans are searching and searching, but they haven't come out with anything about Joe. Now, his son, yes, of course.
No, they
his son.
have come out with something about Joe yesterday.
Well, who has?
What's his name? The guy that all the whistleblowers turn to. Oh, what the hell's his name? Is a senator? Grandhome? Not Grandhome. It's something like that. But it was just revealed on the news last night.
All right, well, I'll have to
as a
look
matter of
into
fact.
that.
But, I mean, and that's one thing I will tell you about political people that tie into one party. They have a very hard time believing anything negative about their party. And that's both parties, and it's many people I know.
Yeah. Well, there's always going to be corruption. But the point is, there's corruption and then there's corruption. I mean, we reached a high. I mean, when you actually are a president and you try to destroy democracy, how do you top that, Tom?
Don't they all?
Well,
Who supports democracy? Who's the last president
Well,
supported
I mean,
democracy?
when you actually try to overturn the will of the people, when you say this election doesn't count because I lost, who else ever did that?
No, I understand. And I still will never understand why the hell that moron did that. That was the beginning of the end of me even looking at supporting him. Well, I told you the last election I didn't even vote for him.
Yeah.
You know, look, but
I do
don't
admire the fact that you had lunch with the guy.
I'm not going to turn
I
down.
would have done that.
Of course you would have, because you don't turn down having lunch with the President of the United States, for Christ's sake.
Hell no.
Everybody goes, what'd you do that for? Because he's the president, for Christ's sake, and he invited me to lunch.
Yeah.
If Biden called today, I'd go to lunch, even though I can't stand him. I'd go to lunch with the president again.
Sure.
I don't like Trump, and I don't like Biden. Now, wait a minute. Maybe I wouldn't go to lunch with either one. I'm not
See,
sure.
you're fair, though, Tom. You see? That's the important thing. So to back up your question, though, in retrospect, how many potential presidents should have been investigated? But we never thought of it.
Yeah.
All of them.
Well, and the media were different, of course, in those days. They, like you look at JFK's sex life, for example.
Oh yeah.
Which in itself you might say, well, that's we don't get into that. But his sex life led to him being compromised by the mafia.
Absolutely, it did.
So that's the kind of thing you might want to write about.
No, you're absolutely
But
right.
nobody
about that.
did.
No, they did not, because they cover up for their own people.
Yeah.
And they'll never stop doing that, and that's why they get away with so much corruption and crime. They just do.
I know one thing. If I was ever accused of a felony, and I'm too tired to ever do that.
Yeah, you're not going to work that hard.
I would want Joey Taco on my side.
Oh yeah, Joey Taco.
Yeah.
Is that Trump's attorney now?
Yeah.
Joey Taco.
Joey Taco.
Is that really his name now?
No, his name is
Tacopina?
like Joseph Tacopina.
I think it's Tacopina.
But
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they all call him
Joey
Joey
Taco
Taco.
sounds like a mobster.
Well, absolutely.
Well, it
sounds like he's
certainly
mobbed
and
up.
he behaves like a mobster.
Joey.
I think it's hilarious. That's all
It's
I have to say.
entertaining. You got to admit.
Yeah, but we're all paying the
Well, there is
tab.
that.
That's
There
the
is
problem.
that, yeah.
We're all paying for all this stuff while these pigs just keep raking it in.
Yep.
And once again, could you maybe do something to help the people instead of yourself for once? What do you think?
Now you've become the idealist.
Yeah, apparently I'm
Bad
way over
precedent
the
there,
top.
Tom. Bad precedent. You do not want to start to help the people, because then where do you stop?
I suppose you'll always be helping people. What a horrible
No, I always
thing.
got to help you. I did one solid for you.
What
Now
a
you want
horrible
three.
thing.
Who was the genius who came up? I think I know the answer, but who was the genius who came up with the trickle-down theory?
The trickle-down, that was
First,
Ronald
we
Reagan.
all get rich, and then other people will eventually be able to eat.
That was a buddy of Ronald Reagan's, I think, if I remember
I'm
correctly.
trying to remember the supply side economics
I
guy.
cannot remember who that was.
It'll come to me.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
But I do remember as a little boy, and I heard that what the hell was his name again? The guy from Hannibal, Missouri, president.
Oh, Truman?
Truman, yeah. When to cover his own ass, he put Social Security in the general fund. And I thought, even as a little boy, I went, well, that's not right. You can't take other people's money to pay your bills. But then I found out, oh, yes, they can, and do all the time.
Yeah.
It's too bad. Judd, holy Christ, you're going to get fired from your other job if we don't.
No. Pat's sick, so I'm fine.
What?
He's got a cold.
So
Royce's got a
Royce's
cold.
got a
so
cold?
He couldn't do today. So yeah, I figured I'd hang around. It's great.
I want him to call me today and go, hey, Tom, it's Pat. All stuffed up. Be wonderful. God, I haven't talked to Pat in years.
Bring him on.
We should bring him on.
Bring
the show
him on. He's part of the family.
Yeah.
Very smart guy. Very, very smart
Hubbard
man.
family.
Indeed. Well, yeah, if you, next time you talk to him, ask him if he has any interest in doing that, because we'd love
Absolutely.
to have him on. There's no question. All these people. I'm going to call Harry Truman, see if he wants to come on. What do you think?
I like it. Why not? Worth a shot.
It all works for me. All right, Pally. Well, I will talk to you on, Tuesday?
Yeah, we'll text soon, though, to complain about the
Like
Twins,
every
man.
day.
Yeah, it's
Judd
like,
and I
what the
text one
Griffin
another.
Jacks. If Griffin Jacks is still on this team on Saturday, I'm going to text you and say,
I agree.
WTF.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't
All
agree
right.
with you more. Thanks,
Have a
Judd.
good weekend.
Judd
See ya.
Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen. Skor North, of course. We'll take a break. Be right back in just a couple of minutes. You know, I've been saying I've been losing weight. And I've got to tell you, I'm really impressed with the program offered by MN Fat Loss. Yeah, because it doesn't, some of those programs make you feel guilty about what you're doing. This program does not do that. The team at MN Fat Loss has figured out the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day. I've lost now 15 pounds since I started. I've only been on the program a few weeks now, I guess. I'm feeling healthier and I got more energy. The program is safe and it's effective. You know me, I'm not going to count points or eat prepackaged meals, or I'm certainly not going to go through hypnosis. Seriously, folks, if you want to lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, yeah, so I'm right on path. I'll be somewhere between 20 and 30 pounds by the month or two. There's no question about that. You really ought to check out the program at mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Of course, results may vary, but I'm losing the weight. I feel great. Lost 15 pounds. If you want to find out the secret to losing 15 pounds in just a couple of weeks, few weeks maybe, about a pound of fat every day, no exercise required, schedule a free consultation. All you got to do is call 763-312-7600, online at mnfatloss.com. Be sure to tell them Tom Barnard said to give mnfatloss.com a call. Tom Barnard here. You might not know this about me and about my family, but we're kind of Nissan strong. I say that because I own a Nissan Altima from Walser Nissan, and I love it. My son Andy owns a Nissan Rogue Sport from Walser Nissan, and my daughter-in-law Melissa, yeah, you guessed it, drives a Nissan Kicks and carts grandson Ethan safely around town, also purchased at Walser Nissan. You want to know who else is Nissan strong in the Twin Cities? Walser Nissan and their trifecta of stores. Down south, GM Dan Resch at Walser Nissan in Burnsville. West of the metro, just off Highway 12 and Wayzata Boulevard, is Casey Novotny's Walser Nissan Wayzata, and in Coon Rapids, north side of Highway 10 and Round Lake Boulevard, Jay Buck runs the show at his Nissan store. This month you could test drive the all-new affordable Nissan Aria, all-new electric crossover SUV at all 3 Nissan stores. When you do, don't forget to let them know the Tom Barnard family sent you, Nissan strong and loyal like me and my family. Even if you're just Nissan curious, go to Walser.com and select the Walser Nissan store nearest you. You know, one thing I got to point out that I really do like is the fact that Mike and I just had an exchange. There are a lot of things that Mike and I don't agree on politically. And on the other side, I have several friends that tend to lean, right and see, very little wrong with their deal. And I can talk to all of you, and we don't start screaming at each other. We don't have to agree.
Right.
I hate this when you disagree with somebody's politics and they start screaming at you. It's like, why are you yelling at me about your politics? I don't get it.
Well, there's always that mentality that some people have where if you scream louder than the other person, that makes you right.
Yeah, no, it's what's going on in America right now with about 10% on the right and 10% on the left. They just scream at everybody.
And that was, of course, the fundamental concept behind some of the early cable shows.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, where, you'd have, what was the one show where you'd have a liberal and a Democrat, and they'd yell at each other?
Oh, yeah, and it was...
What was that?
It was Skor Vidal, wasn't it, that was on the show, I believe. He was on one of them, I know.
Yeah, I think the one I'm thinking of, was it on Fox? Was that where it started?
Possibly.
I can't remember.
So there's a name that I haven't thought of in a while, but that's one of the things that I love about this job and my life and... exposing myself to different thoughts. I had a very nice, it was phone. I never met him in person, talked to him many, many times, used to talk to him on the phone all the time. And I think I've mentioned this before, that Gore Vidal became kind of a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And we agreed on nothing, but he was a brilliant man.
A very smart guy. Yeah.
Holy God, was he smart.
He had certain prejudices that...
yes, he did.
That were kind of just crazy.
That is true. A fascinating guy, though. He really was.
Oh, yeah.
So that's that whole deal. But, I mean, I got people like that around my life. There are some people, like I would take you and that person, I would never introduce you to one another. Because, you would find zero common ground.
Yeah, well, that's not as boring, at least, as when...
True.
People have nothing but common ground.
That's true.
And I do a podcast every week, 10 or 15 minutes with Bob Sanser.
Sanny.
And he's pretty far to the right of me.
He's pretty conservative, yeah.
But we never have an argument.
No, Sandy's a great guy.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. I just take it, I just think you're all nuts. That's what I think.
But it does get very boring to be around people who agree with you all the time.
I couldn't agree more. You're absolutely right. I don't want to hang out with everybody I agree with. I can learn nothing.
Right.
Right? So, yeah, I just wanted to thank you for that, because I do like the fact that I have all these different friendships and relationships, and I I can't think of the last time I went, I'm not hanging around with them anymore. Forget it.
Well, there's a lot of that.
Oh, there's a lot of that going on right now.
And that's one of the reasons why, for example, they're never going to come to terms with the whole debt crisis thing, because you've got a lot of people who have decided that they would rather destroy the economy than give in.
No, you're right.
And those are the
You're
people who
absolutely right.
never have to compromise, because those are the people who have that job for life.
They do. So it's all about them.
I think it kind of starts with gerrymandering is what it does.
Yeah.
So we're going to create this district, and you can be as far out there as you want to be, because all you have to do is get the nomination. You're there for life.
Yeah.
And it used to be that there was a requirement that people compromise.
Back in the day, Shannon, would you quiet down, please? You keep interrupting
I'm
us.
sorry. I have so much to say.
Well, I want to hear it. What do you have to say?
Nothing right now.
You said you have so much to say. So we open the door.
I missed my opportunity.
I want you, look, do me a favor and find better friends.
Okay.
Would you please?
I will.
I mean,
I
really,
will.
Brittany is your friend?
Yeah, for a long time.
What the hell
She
kind
really
of...
just gets in there.
What kind of choice is that? You know what I mean?
It's kind of like Stockholm Syndrome. We've been around each other for so long.
That's
it's
what
just...
it is, Stockholm Syndrome. All right, that's going to do it for another show. So Mike will be on with the family coming up in about an hour. You know, next week, that show's moving to 10:15.
It is.
Oh, they didn't tell you that?
No.
I thought Andy's got a hold of you.
No.
Yeah, so when you're done with this show, all you got to do is wait around 10, 15
Oh, I
more
like
minutes.
that.
Oh, yeah, that's why we're doing it, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So the show's going to go from 10:15 to 11:15. But we're also going to do a Friday show, so it's not going to be an hour and a half anymore. It's going to be an hour because we're adding that hour on Friday.
That works.
Works for me. So, yeah, I want to let you know that next week you'll be sitting right where you are till we'll talk for 10, 15 minutes and then do the other show. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, that's everything?
It's everything.
All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow.